Don't be sorry. Check out video only.
Tune in next Monday as your Seattle Seahawks take on Detroit. Kickoff at 5:15 p.m. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, proud sponsor of the Seattle Seahawks and the Northwest's biggest and best casino.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto family.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Presented by Simply Seattle.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Saul.
All right, let's go. Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports, 710, seattlesports.com, and the old Seattle Sports app, plus the podcast platforms. Haven't seen a lot of reviews recently on Apple Podcasts, so if you are listening to the show that way, please feel free to leave us a review, especially if it's got 5 stars. Don't care what you say. I mean, you can say something mean if you want, but please, 5 stars would be nice. And then if you are into the saying of the mean things, but don't like to write them, you prefer to say them out loud, but beyond a little bit of veil of anonymity, don't worry, we've got you. After the show today, Maura will be putting together Here's the Thing for tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So in order to participate in that, you've got to download the app, which I'm sure you've already done. Right? I mean, I'm sure you've already done that. But if you haven't, you got to download the app, and then you can just leave us a message through the app. And Maura finds them because you say, here's the thing at the beginning of it. And then she puts them together, and we'll play them tomorrow. And usually, we're the victims of your hate and discontentment and all-around meanness, which is great.
I mean, I feel like we've had a particularly strong batch the last couple of weeks.
Exactly. It's growing.
The imitation of you taking calls, telling everyone how stupid they are.
I mean, that was accurate. Yeah. I mean, yes, true. Yeah. That was a good one.
We had the shot at Lyle's headache. I'm looking back at last week. Brock hating kids.
Yeah.
My fantasy football open.
Mm-hmm.
The week before, Manny from Maui came in really strong.
Yeah, people have been bringing it, which is nice. And, I think that there'll be more to come. I mean, I think hopefully this builds on itself and we keep getting more and more. So please leave us a message for Here's the Thing. Do it before, 10:30? What time do you get that done? About 10:30? What time do you do that today? Right after the show?
I'll probably look at some after the show, but I double check again either tomorrow morning or tonight.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, so you do have like sort of one last chance if you
generally if I've already got like a huge batch,
it's too late.
and we might cut it off. But I'll get to them the next week. I always like pick up where the last one is that I
well, have some urgency. Try to get this in. Make Maura's job a little easier, and try to do this by about 10:30. I get some time after the show if you want help. I've got a little time before my date. I got a date at 11.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty excited about it. It's a pretty good date. I've been texting with this entity nonstop here over the last few days. It's my dentist, and they won't leave me alone. They're kind of obsessed with me, and so I'm excited about the date later today where I get to go over and, they're going to put their fingers in my mouth and all that. It should be great, but the lead up to it is really the exciting part. Just the nonstop calls and text messages, emails, everything. They really put out all the stops just to get me to come in.
I've been complaining about this since the Salk show.
I complain about it every 6 months because I go to the dentist every 6 months to get my teeth cleaned because I've got pretty good teeth and I go and get them cleaned every time. That's one way in which I am lucky, despite all the ways in which I'm not. And, every time I get 35 text messages and 5 calls from the dentist just to get me to come in. So, that's on the way. We gone long enough? You were ready to talk Mariner? Maybe in a couple. Yeah, all right. The Mariners are, not done, but real close to life support there. They are hanging on by a thin strand of a thread. I just combine them. It's fine. Yesterday's about as bad as it gets, right? Detroit wins. Kansas City wins. You lose, and unfortunately, that was a winnable game. It wasn't like, the 5-0 game that you gave back. But that's a pretty winnable game in Houston. And losing it does a few things. One, obviously, it eliminates the hope for the division. Houston celebrates. That's now the second team to celebrate after beating you this year, which can't feel good. Secondly, it's another division loss, which means you now are definitively out in terms of any of the tie-breaking scenarios with the wild card. Remember we were saying yesterday, and Jeff jumped in and was like, oh, I think the Mariners could still tie the Royals in terms of division. Okay, well, that's done now. They can't get there. So they lose any tiebreaker with any of the three teams that they could tie for the wild card, meaning Minnesota, Kansas City, Detroit. You've also now set up a scenario in which both Detroit and Kansas City are realistically 3 games ahead of you. You've got to be 3 games clear of them. Hard to do. And they've got a game in hand on you. So they control that extra game, that half game, rather than you controlling it. You really put yourself in a tough spot where even if you win out, beating Houston today, which, by the way, I hope you can do. They should be hungover, just like the Yankees were last week, and you should be able to go out and beat them. They're not really playing for as much now, right? They've won the division. I'd have to look and see whether or not they have a chance to. Do they have a chance to get the second? No. So they're locked in. They're going to pretty much, they can take the rest of the time off here, their last 4 games. So that puts you in a pretty good spot. You should be able to win the game today, and then you go up against an Oakland team with nothing to play for other than pride, like at home here in Seattle. So do the Mariners have a chance to win out? Yeah, I think they do. Honestly, I do. They're going to have the pitching advantage in every game. Not that that hasn't been the case all year. And you do have, what I would assume would be a fairly hungover Astros team today. By the way, not only this is the second time you faced a team coming off of a celebration, both of the next games were day games, which is great. I mean, those things play a role. Don't think they don't. They absolutely play a role. Just think about your own life. If you have too good a night, what time do you want to go into work the next day? Early or late? I don't think there's too much of a debate.
Not at 4 a.m.
Darn right. Don't want to do that any day. So yeah, I would hope they win today. And then you got a 3-gamer at home. Now, you're not going to be able to control what Minnesota, Kansas City, Detroit do. I'm kind of looking at it, and I know it's really, really dangerous to make assumptions based on what's currently happening, but Detroit's playing really good baseball. And I feel like that's a lost cause. Minnesota's playing like absolute cheeks. I'm excited to keep using cheeks. I don't feel confident saying it, but I'm going to keep trying to say it. I know. I'm going to keep saying it until I feel confident doing it. But they're awful. I mean, they're getting beat yesterday by Miami. They can't generate anything. They look as lost as a team could possibly be. And I think they're feeling that effect of oh no, we just blew this huge lead. And sometimes once that happens, it's really hard to get it back. They feel like they're staring that in the face. So unless they have a drastic turnaround, it does seem likely that you're able to, at the very least, get past Minnesota. And that leaves Kansas City. So really, once you start looking at, if you look at it that way, and this is like as positive as I could possibly be this morning, coming off a loss in which you were outplayed, in which you made a bunch of mistakes, in which, I don't understand how Mitch Garver got 4 at-bats and Luke Raley only got 1, in which you didn't execute in the big moments with men on third and nobody out, right? In which, unfortunately, Logan Gilbert gave up 1 too many home runs, in which, right? Just unfortunately not able to get it done. And, of course it was Jason Hayward, and I'll talk more about him in Need to Know. But if you want to be positive today, if you want to hold out some inkling of hope, despite the weather changing, despite the crappy rain as you were driving to work early this morning, despite the pain and misery and suffering of being a sports fan, despite the frustration of the Storm getting knocked out last night, if you're looking for hope, really what you've got to hope for is that Kansas City doesn't have it. That Bobby Witt doesn't have it. They got, to be honest, I watched that game last night. They got a little lucky. Anybody else watch it? I turned on that MLB deal where you can watch 4 games at once on TV, which is great. And I watched the end of the Royals game. You know how they scored in extra? So first of all, 0-0 going to extra innings. You know how they scored? It wasn't exactly them destroying the baseball. It wasn't a home run ball or anything close to. You know how small their margin of victory was? Very. In fact, I'll tell you about it in Need to Know next. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
This is Seattle Sports.
Throw deep, got DK open, touchdown! Seahawks, a 71-yarder to DK.
DK was able to get behind him. I thought the protection was great. Allowed us that extra second we needed to get the ball downfield. That was a big play for us.
Down to the 1, he's in! Touchdown! Seahawks, Zach Charbonnet!
With the type of defense that we have on our team, it just gives us the utmost confidence to go out there and just play free.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
Hey, I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
The best defense is a good offense. So before the sewer backs up into your home and wreaks havoc, stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is there for you when you need them most. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
At State Roofing, you can trust us to get your project done right because we prioritize quality and excellence in everything we do. Take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest today, and don't pay until 2025. Call State Roofing at 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors. When a product is made better, it lasts longer. Sounds simple, but Toyota of Kirkland wants you to know it's actually savvy. With Toyota's certified program at Toyota of Kirkland, you can score a high-quality, low-mileage Toyota at a great price. Talk about savvy. The tremendous team at Toyota of Kirkland has plenty of certified inventory for you to come see, test drive, and take home all in the same day. Now that's truly savvy. Visit the Savvy showroom at Toyota of Kirkland today or toyotaofkirkland.com.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
Hey, college students, want to save more on groceries? Every dollar counts, so my friends at Safeway are helping by giving all university, community, and technical college students an extra 5% savings every day. It's called Safeway for You. Sign up is free and easy. Safeway for You members get extra savings with perks, points, and free products. For all the details and terms, visit Safeway.com/FOR and the letter U. That's Safeway.com/for-you.
We're here with Corey Heston, owner of Heston Door Service, with big news. Heston Door Service has been voted best garage door company in the Pacific Northwest by you, the people, in the Seattle Times.
It's crazy to think 10 years ago, it was just me working out of a driveway. And now my team has been voted the best garage door company in the Pacific Northwest. We take pride in the work we do in the business we created. And we wanted to thank everyone for trusting us to be your number one choice.
Corey, how can we learn more about you?
You can check us out at HestonDoorService.com.
West Coast Men's Health has helped thousands of men overcome erectile dysfunction and Peyronie's disease using acoustic wave therapy. No pills and no shots. But it's not our success stories that separate us from the other clinics. It's how we interact with our patients. From your first call, our medical staff will take the time to answer your questions, whether it's about your ED, how our treatment works, or even about the cost. Our goal is to inform and educate you so you're comfortable when you come in for your first visit. So if you're tired of frustrating nights, you're ready to get off Viagra and put an end to your ED or Peyronie's disease, stop living with this problem and do something about it. Give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto family.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, the Mariners did some good things last night, but Houston unfortunately was better. Logan Gilbert made 3 mistakes, and all 3 of them were taken out of the park. The first 2, Bregman, Tucker, okay, fine, solo shots. But this one, yeah, this one's definitely a rough one.
To Hayward, and here she comes. Swinging a well-hit ball deep to right field. Going back, Robles looking up, and goodbye baseball. Upper tank in right field. Jason Hayward with a long home run puts the Astros on top by a score of 4-3.
Yeah, that's his second game winner this year against the Mariners, but he does it in his second uniform. Remember, he dealt the death blow in Los Angeles for the Dodgers. Now he ends the Mariners' chance for the division title as the Astros complete the comeback from 10 games back and win another AL West title while the Mariners had to watch the whole thing. I don't think that part's fun at all.
Yeah, it's always hard. It's always hard when you watch a team celebrate. And but I think the message here is that there's a lot of different scenarios that could still take place here, and we keep fighting for. We have 4 games to go. We keep fighting and turn around and see what happens. But it's a great group of guys in that clubhouse, and they continue to battle each day.
They are battling, and I give them credit for that. Unfortunately, they lost that battle yesterday. Are there still scenarios that could play out? Yeah. The division is done. That part has been decided. But, again, I don't think Kansas City or Minnesota are playing good ball, and you only need to get ahead of 2. You don't need to get ahead of Detroit. So keep fighting, keep battling, try to beat what I would assume is a hungover team today from Houston, and see if you can, just put yourself in position to make the last day matter. Logan Gilbert was actually really good yesterday.
I felt good. Some of the best stuff I've had all season. They hit a couple good pitches, a couple mistakes. That's just baseball. But fun atmosphere, big game. Offense did great, putting up a few runs. Stuff-wise, though, felt like I threw the ball really well. Like I said, some of the best stuff I've had. So just a couple mistakes, which is how it goes.
His slider was really good last night. His fastball was really good, but as he said, you make a couple mistakes at the wrong time, and unfortunately, they punished him. George Kirby will get the ball today in, as I said, the series finale.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, elsewhere in that wild card race, as I said, Tigers stay hot. They beat Tampa at home early. They sure seem like the team most likely to get in from this group of 4. The Twins are the ones heading very, very quickly in the wrong direction. They lose again, this time 4-1 to Miami. That's a big ouch. And I don't think you want to hear how the Royals won, but I'll tell you anyway. They went scoreless into the 10th. Scoreless into the 10th with Washington. They score the game's lone run when the zombie runner comes around on a throwing error from the third baseman on a Bobby Witt infield maybe single, maybe error. That's how they score the winning run. Then with 2 outs in the 9th or 10th, Joey Gallo comes up to pinch hit, and you know that one of 3 things is going to happen. Joey Gallo is either going to walk, strike out, or hit a home run. He hit a ball, what had to be 450 feet down the right field line, went foul by about 5, and then struck out on the next pitch. That was it, and that is how the Royals win. So the Mariners need 3 more wins than either the Royals and or the Tigers, 2 more than the Twins. That means if they go 4-0, they need 2 of these 3 things to happen. They need Kansas City or Detroit to go 1-4, and they need the Twins to go 2-3. You need 2 of those 3 things to happen. Could it? Yeah. I mean, when you say it that way, it's like not impossible, but you got to take care of your business. You got to win out. And hopefully a hungover Houston team is exactly what the doctor ordered today.
Third thing you need to know.
All right, Seahawks up to number 4 in ESPN's power rankings, despite their obvious questions on the offensive line. The reason, essentially everything else, which looks really darn solid for them. They keep winning. They're 3-0. Marcus Spears excited about them on NFL Live.
The Seattle Seahawks are experiencing a lot of success. 3-0 football team. Playing at a very high level. The defense has been revamped by Mike McDonald. You see the secondary now starting to come back to life. The pass rush up front is starting to affect quarterbacks in a major way, and they're playing devastating defense as we thought he would bring from Baltimore. But the explosive plays and the way Geno Smith is playing with ball placement, also explosive plays, the DK Metcalf using intermediate, the run game is starting to take fruition. This is a complete football team that's playing at a very high level on both sides of the ball with really good players. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do down the way. But Mike McDonald has been phenomenal for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I would agree with all of that. And, I echo the idea of looking forward to it. I can't wait for Monday night. This is about as much as I've looked forward to a football game in a while. After watching this team play for the first 3 weeks and knowing that Detroit is going to be their first really good test on the road in front of a national audience, or at least half a national audience, I'm pretty darn excited for that one. Seahawks are bringing in 42-year-old tackle Jason Peters for a little workout. Not a great sign, probably, for the health of Lucas or Fant. They also made some practice squad moves yesterday, bringing back a nose tackle, which is probably not good news for Byron Murphy and his health. Kraken, I watched last night. They lose 3-1 to Vancouver in preseason action. It was on Amazon Prime, which was great. One positive, despite their second loss, it was a very physical, chippy affair. Bunch of fights, some nasty moments. I loved it. Hopefully, that's something we're going to see a little bit more of with Dan Bilesma. And unfortunately, I mentioned it earlier, the Storm season ends as they are swept 2-0, beaten by Las Vegas. That's everything you need to know. You want me to do a quarter past every? I know, right? There's a lot built into there. It's a busy, busy kind of day. I'll give you one more thing you should know. Hawks Live, it's back, and you can join Bump and Paul Moyer tomorrow, starting at 7 at Bellevue Square Center Court, for a live broadcast and a preview of this week's game, plus a little visit from a Seahawks player. We'll find out who later today. That tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, Bellevue Square Center Court. Learn more at seattlesports.com/events. Yeah, it was fun watching the Kraken last night. First little taste of hockey this year. I didn't watch game 1, but I did watch last night, most of it. They didn't look great. I mean, they didn't look terrible, but they didn't look great. But it's really hard to tell. They're playing like half their regulars, half other guys. Yeah. Same with Vancouver. And, Burakovsky actually looked pretty good. And Jaden Schwartz.
Camp a few days ago.
I mean, I think they're still even kind of in camp, right? Like it just sort of goes along with the because they got so many guys there. But Schwartz had a decent day, and it was fun to see Brandon Montour running the point on the power play. Like there were some nice things to see. I just like the physicality. They were actually getting after it, and you saw a couple of fights. John Hayden, who I like, and I do kind of hope makes this team. And then, Tanev late in the game got after it a little bit with the fight too. So, hopefully that's going to be a little bit bigger part of their game. They still don't have that one dude who nobody wants to mess with, But, yeah, as long as you're out there being physical and policing what business needs to be policed, I'll be a lot happier than I've been the last few years. All right, we'll come back. It's big baseball day still, and Jeff Passan had a lot of thoughts on where the Mariners are, why they've been hitting better, and maybe more importantly, where they could be going. Stick around. You'll hear it next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to watch the Seahawks host the New York Giants October 6th.
Throw deep, got DK open, touchdown, Seahawks!
Head to the Seattle Sports app, click the win tab in the bottom of the right corner, and enter for your chance to win.
A 71-yarder to DK!
You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds will be. Do it every day, September 25th through September 30th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Yeah, driving to work this morning, and I don't mind having the windshield wipers on intermittent or maybe even low, but had to actually throw them on high this morning on the highway so that I could see. That means it was really legitimately raining. I couldn't wait to get inside. You know who else is looking to get inside? Rats, rodents, mice. They all want to get inside your house. Who can blame them? It's nice and warm in there, and it's nice and cold and wet and rainy outside. The problem is once they get into your house, then they start chewing on the insulation. Now it's not warm in your house in the winter, and your heating bills go up. That's a huge issue that Crawl Pros is working to solve. And in fact, they're partnering with Puget Sound Energy to provide special rebates on insulation work. So if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, you might qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Take advantage of these enormous rebates today by calling Crawl Pros and learn what's going on behind that crawl space or attic hatch for free. And then you can learn what energy rebates you're eligible for as well. Call Crawl Pros now before the cold, wet weather is worse. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1932 $10 gold Indian coins have been found. These gorgeous 1932 gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling the secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1932 dated gold coin featuring Lady Liberty with an Indian war headdress and a majestic eagle. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1932 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster that is 92 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-495-6468. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus over a $55 value free with every order. Call 1-800-495-6468 now to secure your 1932 $10 gold Indian coins before they sell out. Don't wait. You must act fast. Call now.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
This college football moment is brought to you by Serve Pro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. For instance, on September 21st, 2019, UCLA trailed Washington State 49-17 with under 7 minutes left in the third quarter. From that point forward, the Bruins erased that 32-point deficit, outscoring the Cougars 50-14 to win 67-63.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
Looking for fine jewelry this fall? Good news! Seattle's favorite jeweler for more than 40 years now has 2 locations in the area. Come visit us in our beautiful new store with the biggest selection at South Center Square in Tukwila. Create your own engagement ring with the widest range of diamonds and gemstones and discover unique, fine jewelry designed by our in-house team. No matter your budget, our friendly team is here to help guide you in finding that perfect piece that speaks to you. Visit shaneco.com to find your closest store and hours. We can't wait to see you. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
It's football season, and that means colder weather is on the way. If it's time to update your windows and doors, talk to Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Local owner Keith Dashafee has a great deal just for you.
That's right, Steve. Now you can get 20% off qualifying installations or 0% financing for 24 months with equal payments. Just schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors at PellaPNW.com.
Thanks, Keith. Check out the unbeatable selection of windows and doors today at PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Roof now, pay later. Hi, I'm Sam Thomason, owner of State Roofing. Take advantage of our 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to a year. We've partnered with leading lenders to make the replacement or repair of your roof affordable. Flexible financing options are available to take the worry out of an unexpected expense. Call us today at 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule a free no-obligation estimate or visit us at stateroofing.com. That's stateroofing.com.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Does your snoring keep others awake at night? Choking or gasping can be even worse. Hi, I'm Dr. Nick Kugler with the Washington Center for Sleep. Snoring is often a sign that something is wrong. Don't ignore it. We can help fix it. We specialize in treating snoring and sleep apnea so that you can get better sleep, giving you more energy and a more fulfilling, healthy life. Visit us in Seattle, Bellevue, or at wasleep.com. That's wasleep.com. Sleep better, feel better. That's the Washington Center for Sleep way.
Hey, everybody. Bob Stelton here for Johnson Fitness and Wellness, where I got my home gym. Now, the difference? Their expert staff. They ask great questions like, what are your fitness goals? What kind of space are you working with at home? And what's your budget? Johnson Fitness and Wellness experts get you the right machine for your home gym dream setup. And right now, in-store only, while supplies last, mention this ad and our listeners get an indoor cycle for free with Select Force USA Home Gyms. Shop stores in Bellevue, Tacoma, Linwood, or visit johnsonfitness.com.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Maura, I heard the way you were introducing this to Jeff Passan. Now he's going to come on and try to be even meaner than Joel Klatt already was earlier today.
Joel gave him kind of a hard time, so if you could take it a little easier on him today.
I'm sure
you were in the background like, yeah, be nice to me. So you backed me up.
That's sort of like the beginning of Dazed and Confused, the way she says to take it easy on her brother.
He's going to do the opposite.
Yeah, I kind of do. Jeff, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing really well, Mike. I'm sorry you're having a rough day, man. Like I'm just listen, at the end of the day, you're my friend and I'm here to support you through tough times. And if once you get off the air, you need to talk, just let me know, okay?
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know what I'm going to do for the next half hour? I'm studying Salk's 5th grade Josiah Haynes Elementary School picture from 1988 and 89. Like, Salk, you had a strong fro, bro.
Huge, yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot of hair.
Yeah, Passan, you ever have the fro?
No, my hair was always too straight, but my younger son, he let his hair go long, and I'm just going to have to send you guys a picture of it right now because it was a force of nature, and I miss it. He first cut it into like a real mullet, and then cut it into one of the faux mullets that kids have now. Yeah. And I just, I miss the locks. They were.
Salk, will you tweet this picture?
No, there's too many. I mean, it's not fair to all the other people.
Just tweet the picture.
No.
People need to see you.
No,
in
they
5th
don't.
grade.
Nobody needs to see
Look how pure you were.
Thank you.
You look so good.
I was very young.
Cute little kid.
Jeff, do the American?
Did you still look like you took a bullet in your chin?
Yeah. Thanks. What happened to being nice? Jeez. You were supposed to be nice. What happened? It didn't last.
What was not nice about that? I think I, as someone who also has a cleft chin, I'm proud of mine.
Yeah.
I like my butt chin.
You can't really tell that
really
much.
Good
No, you don't.
Yeah, you can't really tell it as much in this picture.
Oh, shoot, I can't.
Yeah, it's a little hard to see.
No, I'm not seeing the butt chin at all.
Yeah, it was there. You just can't really tell in the picture. Right. Yeah, that one's been around my whole life. Jeff, do the American League teams not want to make the playoffs? What's going on this year?
Well, I mean, remember. After it looked like this team was absolutely dead, I was like, baseball teams are not very good this year. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I'm putting together this story that always runs right after the season ends, and it's why your team can win the World Series. And what I keep finding is amid this positivity, I need to also suggest why your team cannot win the World Series. And in quite a few cases, there are more reasons that they cannot win the World Series than they can. And, in the case of the Royals, this is not the first time that this has happened. Like, they tied Cleveland for first place about a month ago now, and promptly lost 7 games in a row. And this is like their second 7-game losing streak within the course of a month. Detroit spent the first 3 quarters of the season a patently mediocre team, like not underachieving necessarily, just
sold at the deadline. At the deadline.
Yep. Yeah, like traded Jack Flaherty, who's the best player to go at the deadline, and traded Mark Canha, and traded Andrew Chafin, and traded Carson Kelly. Like 4 guys out the door, and here they are. And Minnesota, I don't even know what to say about the Twins. The Twins, to me, are the most disappointing team of all because they have a real offense. And for them to just collapse to this extent, I understand they don't have Joe Ryan right now. No excuse at all. And so here the Mariners find themselves. If they win out, they don't control their own destiny, but they certainly, the way the other teams are playing, have a pretty reasonable shot. I think the thing that's going against the Mariners worst at this point, guys, is the lack of tiebreakers. Mm-hmm. The only team that they hold the tiebreaker over is the Detroit Tigers right now.
No.
And
No. They lost 5 out of 6 to Detroit.
No. Houston
is their only one. They would need to tie for the division lead. No, it's all right. Unfortunately, Minnesota beat them, I think, 4 out of 6. Kansas City beats them in intra-division record. So they just, it's really just Houston. Good. And that's only if they win out here.
Kansas City. Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they could get Kansas City on intra-division if they went out.
I don't think so.
I was looking at this earlier.
Maybe if they win out. Maybe if they win every game.
I think if they went out.
So, Jeff, would you say the Mariners are more?
It is like, it's kind of grim. And I'll be honest, like the Sunday game was just a real gut punch.
You think?
I do.
Appreciate that.
It's a real hot take.
Super strong opinion. So are the Mariners a little more like Bee Gees staying alive or more Pearl Jam alive? Like final 5 games. What do you think? More on that spectrum of the Bee Gees?
No. I think it's more Pearl Jam than Bee Gees.
You think so?
I do, because isn't it all dependent on them winning and the other teams losing? What's been happening lately? They have been winning and the other teams have been losing. Mm-hmm. And I suppose it helps for Kansas City that they've got Cole Reagans tonight and they've got Cole Reagans potentially on Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. And they're gonna have Seth Lugo one more time, and they have Michael Wacha one more time, and these are 3 pitchers who have not been Mariners caliber or quality necessarily, because very few are, but 3 guys who have been really good this year and have performed in some cases better than Mariners pitchers have. So I still think like Kansas City can salvage itself. They just can't score any damn runs. Like ever since Vinny Pasquantino got hurt, their numbers, especially with runners in scoring position and in leverage situations, have absolutely cratered. And it's not like the Royals have an easy road here. They got to go play the Braves this weekend, and the Braves themselves are going to be fighting for their playoff lives. So there is a lot going on, and I'm not counting the Mariners out, but it's amazing how just one game feels like it would have completely flipped the feeling on where they are right now.
So how do you set things up if you are the Mariners? You've got Logan Gilbert tonight. You still have one off day on Thursday. So you can pitch Logan tonight and you can throw him in the season finale one more time if that game ends up mattering. You've also got Luis Castillo coming back from the IL. So you can use him really anytime. You could throw him tomorrow. You could, and then sort of set it up where he would be your game one starter of the playoffs if you make it. You could decide that you'd rather have Kirk. I mean, you can kind of set it up however you want. What would you do, and how would you go through that?
Can they, the one flying, can they move Wu up?
They can, because they got the off day, yeah.
Could they move Wu up to Friday?
Yes. I believe so.
Okay. If they can move Wu up to Friday, I love Luis Castillo. I really do wonder pitching him off the IL. And when you can go Gilbert, Kirby, Wu, you can move Miller up a day to go Saturday then.
Yep.
And then have Gilbert again on Sunday.
And everybody would be on regular rest because of the off day.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't pitch Castillo again?
I would use Castillo as a fireman, and then I would save him for game one of the postseason.
So interesting. So you would not pitch Castillo. You wouldn't start him for any of the final 5 games, but you would start him for game one of the postseason rather than at that point starting Kirby, who would be next up.
Yes.
Who goes, and does Kirby go to the bullpen in that scenario?
Yeah, I put Kirby in game 2.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then you have Wu coming back in game 3, because if Gilbert's pitching 4, he's not.
Right.
If Gilbert's pitching season finale, he's not going to be on regular rest.
Okay, so somewhat similar.
Like you are sacrificing Gilbert in the playoff round to get there, and I have absolutely no problem with that, guys, because these are the Seattle Mariners, and if there is one thing they do have, it's starting pitching. And they're going to be just fine with any of their guys going on any of these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bryce, the last 2 outings.
And here's the thing: if Dan Wilson chooses to pitch Luis Castillo over the next 5 days, I'm sorry for interrupting, Brock. That was rude. If Dan Wilson chooses to pitch Luis Castillo at any point over the next 5 days, I wouldn't begrudge him for that. I think we're dealing with a bunch of good outcomes here. Regardless of what they do, we are going to essentially be nitpicking a positive outcome in terms of what the numbers project, right? Because they're not going to project a whole lot different for any of these guys.
Do you want a spinning cement slider right in the middle of the plate, or do you want a fastball question? You want an easy cookie or a tougher one?
Yeah, give me both. I love cookies.
Okay. Let's start with the easy one. Is Julio thawed and warmed up?
I mean, he certainly looks a whole lot more like Julio than we thought Julio was going to look like. Does he not?
Mm-hmm.
And it's been the better part of a month now, and we're seeing the power and we're seeing the speed, and he's not striking out nearly as much. I would love to see him walk a little bit more, but at this point, beggars can't be choosers. And this Julio Rodriguez was the one when I was asked, by somebody in the game a few weeks ago, do you still think Julio is any good? And I was like, he's not Bobby Witt Jr. Like, he hasn't done that to this point. And he's not Gunnar Henderson right now, and I'm not even sure he's Corbin Carroll right now, but I still think there's something really good in there. And when we were asked who could be the next 50-50 guy in baseball, Julio was actually at the top of my list.
Wow.
And maybe that's foolish of me to think that he is capable of doing either when he's done neither. Mm-hmm. But that's how much I believe in Julio's physical talent. And I just think he's still he is in the midst of finding the balance that is necessary for him to fulfill all of the stuff that he desires away from the field while still maintaining the guy he is and can be on the field. And for some players, guys, that takes time. And that takes effort, and that takes calibrating, and it takes all the things that I think he's gone through this season. And one thing I don't think Julio Rodriguez is somebody who doesn't learn lessons. I think he's very mindful about this sort of thing, and that nobody has worn this season as hard as he has, and that the lessons he's taking away from this year, the good, but mostly the bad, are going to inform who he is and allow him to be that best version of himself.
Equally, I try to be mindful. I try to be a listener. A couple weeks ago, you had said to us, and it made some headlines on our station and other places, that the Mariners this offseason will likely have to trade one of these 5 starters to find an offensive bat, that the pendulum has maybe swinged a little bit in baseball. And we do have still a remarkable week here and a stretch that may change this answer next week or 2 weeks from now or in the offseason. But right now, this day, Jeff Passan, if you had to trade one of these 5 starters, and you can rank them from the one that is maybe most tradable to the one that is most untouchable, from 5 to 1, how would you rank that today?
Oh, man.
I told you, man, this was a schoolboy. This is a schoolboy changeup. This is not an easy question. It's not easy.
No, the reason it's particularly hard is because I don't know exactly how other teams value these guys, right? Mm-hmm. Like, my first instinct in this situation is that you trade Luis Castillo. And why do you think that's my instinct?
Age.
Correct. Age. You
Mileage.
Don't know. Age, innings. You don't know how the elbow's going to hold up. It's a real thing. But then again, the return in that situation might be lesser. So then I move on to, okay, who's the guy who I worry the most about? And that's Brian Wu, right? And Brian Wu is going to go into next season with less than 2 years of service. So you've got him for, let's see, his 2 + 3 + 4 + 5 + 6. You've got him for like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got Brian Wu for a long, long time. And I think as we saw this winter, Tyler Glasnow might be actually a pretty good comp for Brian Wu, a guy who, when he pitches, is unbelievably good. But the question is, how long are you going to have him out there? And Tyler Glasnow, who, when he came to Los Angeles, had 2 years, got Ryan Pepio, who's a really good big league starter, and Johnny DeLuca. And so that right there shows that the return for a guy, even who is injury prone or who's had a tough time staying healthy, can be pretty strong. After that, I go to Bryce Miller, another guy who has a ton of control and, frankly, I think has been better this year than other organizations expected. Like the Bryce Miller leap this year has been kind of awesome to watch.
Sub-3 ERA, sub-1 WHIP. I mean, unbelievable.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
You know what Bryce Miller's a testament to, Jeff, that you sort of, just not to delay you here and come back and talk about the other guys, but Bryce Miller to me is one of those examples of why projection systems are hard for me. And I love Dan Szymborski and I love what he does. And I think it's an incredible challenge that they've taken on, and a worthy one. But there's just no way to account for a guy listening and learning from the people around him and developing a new pitch that gets lefties out and completely changes who he is as a pitcher.
Best ERA on the team. I mean, even better than Wu's, which, and here's the thing. It's not like it's unsupported by his strikeouts and walks and home runs allowed. Like it aligns pretty well, not entirely, but it aligns pretty well with his peripherals. And then you've got, to me, the top two in George Kirby and Logan Gilbert. And I think if you are the Mariners and you want to get that guaranteed big bat return, not a guy who you're really betting on or who you think maybe he has a flaw here or there. No, if you want to get a capital D dude in return, I think you got to give up Gilbert or Kirby. And that probably at the end of the day is where I personally would lean. And it pains me to say that. And it especially pains me to say that after seeing, oh my God, this Mariners team, maybe they do have the ability to hit in them. I mean, I'm looking right now at September numbers. And the best offense in baseball in September has been the Arizona Diamondbacks. The second best offense in baseball in September has been the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the third best offense in baseball, the best offense in the American League, guys, has been your Seattle Mariners. And I'll be honest, I didn't think they had that in them. And I don't know if it's sustainable. Probably not at this point. But it's sure been nice to see. And it's sure been frustrating to see, knowing what could have been had they just shown up 2 weeks earlier. Not even like 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Just 2 weeks. 2 more weeks of this. And the Mariners are in the playoffs, and we're not going through any of the agita we're going through this week as you guys sit there with nubbed fingernails from biting them because you are too nervous to bear what this team has given you all season long.
Jeff, why?
Gosh, you've been good today, Passan.
You really have.
Did you get sleep last night? Or is it just this time? Like, you were just on a heater today.
I mean, it's almost playoff
so
baseball
locked
time.
in, Passan. So good today.
Jeff, why do you think that's happened?
Thank you. Well, it's such a weird thing to say. This is such a weird thing to say. Victor Robles has been unbelievable in September.
Yes.
And I think Victor Robles setting the table as a guy who doesn't strike out, as a guy who gets on base. I think when you have somebody on base, guys, it just changes the mindset of this team. And all Victor Robles has done all month is get on base, right? And I think that Julio finally being Julio has been nice. And Cal has been Cal. And not only has Cal been Cal, but again, cutting down strikeouts. I don't know how much of this is directly attributable to Edgar Martinez taking over as hitting coach and to Dan Wilson being there. But the strikeouts are down, guys. And you see what happens when they are. Justin Turner has been like prime Justin Turner as well. Mm-hmm. You know, my favorite hitter in baseball, it's the equivalent of the NBA. You know, you got your 50-40-90 guys, like 50% from the field, 40% from three-point range, 90% from the free throw line. The equivalent to me in baseball is the 300, 400, 500 guy. 300 batting average, 400 on base, 500 Justin Turner. Justin Turner has been 299, 398, 463 this month. Wow. It's like about as productive as you can imagine for somebody in his position. And Dylan Moore is out there taking walks and doing his thing. It's like, God, this is what could have been.
Yeah.
It's heartening, and it is immensely frustrating to know that the Mariners had this in them, and finally, after all this time, was it unlocked. And it speaks to, I think, a wasted opportunity of this team, and that's the thing that if they don't pull this off, we're going to look back on. What a freaking waste this team was.
Jeff, thank you. We'll talk next week, and by then we'll know how all of this is shaken out. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Looking forward to it. Mike, I hope you have a great rest of the day and that people treat you with all of the kindness that Brock deserves.
That's really nice. Thank you, Jeff. You're a saint. Goodbye. That was Jeff Passan. My day did get better, by the way. I ended up having a decent day. When it was all said and done, you know, seeing the kids, that's always great. They just put a smile on my face. That's nice.
Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah, they're in a good spot right now. There's a good age. having kids this age is kind of awesome. 7th grade, 5th grade, like they're in a pretty good spot and they're fun to hang out with. So by the end of the day, it all perked up. Once I got away from you people being mean to me, everything was fine. And now we got to bring Brock back on. Oh my gosh. After yesterday, we have to have more fun with Brock. A lot to do today. Daniel Jeremiah is actually here for 8:30. We do have another Madden game with a little quiz action. I participated this time despite telling Brock that I wouldn't yesterday. I felt guilty about it, and so I participated in creating some of this little game for 7:30. So we'll have a Madden game to give away. We got a lot of fun stuff. Stick around. Brock's in next. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
A lot of good stuff on tape that we should be excited about, and there's a lot of stuff I think the feeling should be like, wow, we are still in the infant stages of this thing, and we were able to find 3 wins here in the first 3 weeks. We need to step on the gas here. It's an opportunity for us to really make a jump as a team, and I think that's the way they'll be thinking. This next game's going to be really physical coming up. You know, that's what they're hanging their hat on in Detroit, so the challenge is to step it up a notch.
Don't miss the Mike McDonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
Hey everyone, Rick Witters, owner of Cressy Door. If you're in the market for new garage doors, our expert staff is ready to help. Cressy Door has been offering quality service since 1952.
Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Before you tour a home, the real estate professional you're working with may ask you to sign a buyer's agreement, which describes the services you'll receive, each party's role and responsibilities, and how your agent will be compensated, all of which you'll want to discuss with them up front. So work with an agent who's a Realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors with a duty to honestly represent you and put your interests above their own, because that's who we are.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back, I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Allshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Can you tell me again, and the entire audience, Shannon, what is direct access?
Brock, in the state of Washington, direct access means if you are experiencing pain or a musculoskeletal dysfunction or a problem, you do not need to get a referral from a physician to see your physical therapist. And here at IRG, we encourage our patients to get a hold of us right away after an injury. Why? Is because we know if we get them in early through direct access, they get better, meaning their outcomes are improved, they get back to functional pain-free activity quicker, and the downstream costs are decreased. It's better for us, but more importantly, it's better for the patient. Remember, direct access, no referral required. We're not pushing the doctor out of the loop. We're still engaging with your physician, but we're just getting the patient in early.
With over 40 clinics, convenient neighborhood locations all over, you never have to travel far. Visit IRGPT.com. That's IRGPT.com.
As a Washington State business, you can take advantage of Labor and Industries no-cost safety and health consultation program. We can help you build out your accident prevention plan, meet safety obligations, and reduce your risk of costly safety citations. You can have us look at a single item or your entire facility. And consultations are confidential, which means you will not be cited if a hazard is found. You'll just need to fix it, and we can help help you with that as well. There isn't a safety question we can't help with. To learn more, visit lni.wa.gov/consultations.
For tank and tankless hot water heaters, for clogged drains, for leaky faucets, for toilets that won't flush. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is your trusted source to solve all your plumbing needs. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Hey, football fans, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
Styled by Simply Seattle.
And Brooke Ewart. And Brooke Ewart.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
All right, yes, we roll on. Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, man. I'm sorry. I'm just on Twitter looking at the Sizzler guy, or Ritzler guy.
The Rizzler?
Yeah, the Rizzler. Mm-hmm.
Titus know about that?
Does Titus know about the Rizzler? I'm going to guess Titus does know about the Rizzler.
Yeah.
These high school kids are pretty hip.
Yeah, you just kind of ask
Did I
him.
ask him about the Rizzler? No. Did I think about Sizzler?
We're gonna sizzler. We're gonna sizzler. Yeah. Oh, white man
that
can't
was my
jump.
big birthday gift growing up.
I've never been to a
Sizzler on Main
Sizzler.
Street.
Maybe one day.
Yes, that was a big deal.
Maybe one day I'll get there.
Good. Oh, maybe one day, Salky.
Maybe one day, Brock.
we can off. Maybe one day we can just off these Houston Astros and win the American League West. Maybe
one day. But not this day. Not this day.
Oh man, that was hard. It was weird. I don't know. Like I've had frustration plenty, and it's I'm willing to put it. Yeah, I'm willing to put it out there.
I noticed that. That's kind of funny. What was your frustration this year? Did you like their offense?
No.
How did you feel about Mitch Garver?
Yeah, one of the worst Mariners in the history of the franchise, which is hard to do. Right when he, had like a 3-for-4 game, a 2-for-4 game, here he goes again. So we're back down in those 160s, which will be the worst batting average in the history of this franchise. So, not particularly good. And I would say a lot of that is sports animus, sports frustration, that good old sports emotion. But I would say once that ended last night, and once you see the Astros celebrate, I was truly angry. I was true, to the point I had to turn it off. Like this could not have been scripted better for you this season.
Mm-hmm.
That was not the Astros team that we have seen over the last decade. That was not a healthy team. That was not a team that was loaded 1 through 9 in the lineup. That was not a team that was nearly as devastating, Salk. And oh boy, well, I hope we can win the series. If we can just win the series, let's just go down there and try to find a way to win the series. Like so many of those over the last 10 years, we're they're the better team. Like, how am I going to be that upset? Like, that roster is that much better. That rotation is that much better. Like, they got 2 superstars, and Altuve and Alvarez and Bregman, and go through the list of even guys, Correa. Like, come on. But this Astros team this year, they were there.
Mm-hmm.
It was there with your pitching for the taking, and you could not take it.
You had a 10-game lead.
Exactly. Even more so. Like, you had a 10-game lead against these guys. And you know what did not stop over the last 2.5 months? Yeah, your bullpen. You absolutely, in July and in August, your bullpen imploded. But part of the reason for that, I believe, is that every time out was a 1-run game, was a leverage situation, I mean, every single time out for those guys, because your pure starting pitching has been there all year. And yeah, I don't know, man. Last night turned from like a sports frustration to honestly some like anger, to the point where it wasn't healthy. Like, I got to just turn this off because this really ticks me off. Like, this was really a year where you should have won the American League West.
Mm-hmm. I got the 570 here saying, workshopping some new Mitch Garver sandwich ideas. How about the double play meatball sub? Or an overpriced spicy burrito called the inning ender? Or maybe just something simple like the 165 burger. I don't know. Just make sure you put Swiss cheese on there because there's a lot of holes in that swing. Hey-oh. Yeah. Brock, I mean, everything you say is right. I don't know if that's why the bullpen ended up imploding or not. I mean, bullpen
injuries played a role.
That.
Yep, they do. And certainly no Santos and no Brash and you know, just average guys.
I think those things hurt.
Yep,
like, you're only going to get so far with Austin Voth and Trent Thornton and the rest of those guys who, you know, were put originally into that, what did they call it? The Steckenrider bucket. I think that's what Scott called it in spring training. And like Steckenrider, like, you ride the guy for a little while, but once it goes, and then you got to find, you know, the Steckenrider bucket is different from the Munoz bucket. It's different from the Brash bucket. It doesn't have unhittable stuff.
Correct.
You can sort of twist and turn and mold it into something that will be, you know, successful for a little while, but it's hard to turn it into an elite type of pitcher.
Totally fair.
And eventually those things did catch up with you, I think, in addition to obviously the problems they had hitting and everything else. So,
and you know what else? I mean, just kind of further fuel as I'm just kind of vomiting in the mouth here. Like, watching Logan, and you said 2 or 3 times yesterday, Salk, about how Bryson Miller is such an amazing listener and just a sponge. And just, you know, they had a great shot, Root did, of Logan after his outing where he emptied the tank. And yeah, there were a couple balls, unfortunately, that were left in spots that they did
really
damage
good
with.
Stuff last night, too. Unfortunately, just left, you know, a couple balls in the wrong spot.
But did you see in the dugout, like, multiple occasions, so all those guys just hanging and talking to one another and in workshopping, speaking of workshopping.
Yeah, they really built something there. There's no doubt.
They have.
Yeah.
They have. Like, they're elite, as Passan said to us yesterday, just wasting this unbelievable elite year of these 5 that have just produced and pumped out innings and given you every opportunity. Oh, and there's a man on third with less than 2 outs. Oh, there's a man on third with less than 2 outs. Oh, there's a man on third 3 times yesterday. And you just can't, I mean, it brought up so much of the rest of April through, you know, August. Like, oh my gosh.
So you know, one of the things that's been sort of built into this, and you were asking me yesterday, well, why do you think they've been hitting better in September and this and that? When they hit well, all I hear about is, you know, the things that
and sure, the new things, the new processes that are going.
So what do you say after a day like yesterday?
Well, I think you look at the obvious, even in this month of September, Salk, where they have hit better, it's been who? Right? I mean, it's been Cal continuing to be Cal. It's been Julio that has totally elevated his game. It's not necessarily been Mitch Garver. It's not been Mitch Haniger. It's not been Dylan Moore.
Haniger hasn't played.
It's not been J.P. Crawford.
Right.
I mean, it's not been those holes.
Hasn't been Rojas.
No. I mean, it is, you know, largely been Julio and Randy's had some big moments, especially the last couple
weeks. It's been the guys at the top of this order that have really been the ones to benefit most. Polanco, put him on that list as well. He's certainly come out. But he's come out of it more than what he was at the beginning of the year. It's interesting. I watched that game yesterday, and the biggest difference between what we were seeing until a month or so ago and now is the aggressiveness. There's no doubt. They are running constantly. They are bunting constantly. I mean, they are doing a lot of things. They're trying
to pressurize.
The problem with that strategy is that, A, they're not that athletic a team. I mean, they've got a couple of guys who can play that style. But overall, when you go through the lineup, they're more than at the beginning of this year. At the beginning of this year, they had no athletes. And obviously, they didn't. I mean, they had Julio and Dylan Moore, and that was about it. Obviously, since then, you add a Rosarena, you add Victor Robles, and now you sort of double the number of guys on your team that can run around and make trouble that way. So they're taking better advantage of that now that is different. Now that you've got a different personnel group that can play that game. The bunting thing, man. I'm sorry. Like, I I know it worked once with the bunt for a hit. And when they bunt for hits, I'm not going to sit here and get mad about it. But watching Robles bunt, watching another bunt the other day with a man on first and with 2 outs, I don't see it. I just don't see why they're bunting as often as they are. It just feels like a regression to a bygone time that we've moved past.
I mean, it'd be interesting to study it when it's all said and done here in about 4 or 5 days, more than likely. What did that really do? What role did that really play? Passan has said it, hey man, there's a place for it because these teams, and you can even see Framber. You could even see Framber Valdez, coming off the mound and doing this. We don't do this.
He actually made a pretty good play. Just was late on it, but it's a pretty good play.
It was.
Yeah, but you are forcing the defense to make more plays. I get that in a way that did not used to be true. I'm not fully against bunting for a hit.
And when you have so many swing and miss,
absolutely, I'm not against the occasional bunt for a hit. But when you start doing it all the time, and then you're laying down,
you know what I'm against, Salk? You know what I'm against? I'll tell you what I'm against. I'm against Mitch Garver getting at bats in the 7th, 8th, and 9th and against righties where he can't hit.
Yeah, that was an odd one.
He can't hit.
So you end up yesterday, if I understand right, you have to kind of go back. You had Dylan Moore in at third, right, because of starting the lefty.
Yes.
And then you pinch hit Rayleigh, but then brought in Rojas, which means Rayleigh only gets 1 at bat, and you don't have anybody for Garver later.
Right.
Yeah, maybe a little surprising. Why not just pinch hit Rojas in that situation?
Yes.
Let him go out there and save
Rayleigh
Rayleigh
to hit for Garver because Garver got no chance. I mean, he got no. I don't even. Hey, Lyle, whatever you do, don't pull up the Rizzler and don't pull up Garver's stats versus right-handers.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, that one is a little surprising. Why would you allow Garver to be in there late?
I don't know. But it was crippling, and that game brought up just some of the demons of this season, and then seeing an Astros team that honestly, if you were going to get them, this is an Astros team this year that was vulnerable with injury, this year that was vulnerable in the rotation, this year that was vulnerable in the bottom of their lineup, and you just, even with your elite starting pitching, could not take that step.
And yet,
I know.
As bad as things feel this morning,
you may be there in a week.
Clear.
You may be there in a week.
4 games left to play, and it is still not over yet. We'll explain how and why next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
Gino threw that pick, and they started their drive on the 6-yard line, and they held them to a field goal. And that's all they gave up yesterday, 3 points.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
What do you think about Gino's pick? I don't know. I was thinking fired out of bounds, fired at somebody's feet. But you know what? The very next play that he was back on the field, 71-yard touchdown to DK Metcalf. Yeah, that's, to me, just resilience from Gino. He really does a good job with that.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, do you wake up this morning and are you in need of a local, trustworthy group of pros to assist you with your mortgage needs? Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and you can trust on my friends at Tila Mortgage. They have been the go-to experts as others have opened and closed their doors in Washington. They have been open for over 25 years. And if you're 62 or older, and you've heard about reverse mortgages and wondering, is this right for you? Well, Tila can help you decide if it's the right choice for you and your family. If monthly payments are impacting your credit score and killing your monthly cash flow, once again, Tila can assist you in consolidating your debts with proven programs like a refinance loan or a home equity line of credit, enabling you to maintain your low fixed rate first mortgage, but gaining access to that equity. And finally, if you're purchasing a new home, well, did you see those rates when they cut the Fed? Cut them by 0.5 point last week. So a great time for Tila to guide you through the ins and outs of a new home loan. Hundreds of 5-star reviews. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is the trusted source for honest and ethical mortgage advice. Give them a call this morning at 206-766-8888 or TilaMortgage.com. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker, MLS 2472046.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Fall is near and it's time to break the huddle by taking advantage of Toyota of Kirkland's lifetime powertrain warranty. With a roster of over 70 Tundras and Tacomas, come scout the phenomenal team at Toyota of Kirkland. They'll pass you the keys so you can test drive your vehicle and take it to the house that same day. Big-time players make big-time plays at Toyota of Kirkland. Visit them today at their incredible showroom or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
Rick Riz here with a big thank you to everyone who submitted a nomination for Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program.
Thanks, Rick. This is Elisa with Pella Windows and Doors. With so many amazing entries, we decided to award 2 additional teams with $2,500 prizes. We are so excited to announce Warren Avenue Knights Pee Wee Football and Ferndale Cal Ripken Baseball.
Thanks to you and Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington for helping our local youth thrive.
For years, I've been recommending Riverside Roofing as the roofing company you can trust. It's Mike Salk here. Why not give them an opportunity to earn your business this fall? Find them at riversideroofingllc.com. They are Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
I don't want to dig up my yard if I don't have to. That's why I hired O'Neill Plumbing. They're Seattle's trenchless plumbing pros. All rooter, all trenchless, always professional. O'Neill Plumbing. Since 1917.
Seahawks Player Spotlight.
Man, it felt good to go out there and be able to contribute.
Exclusive interviews with your favorite Seahawks.
You know, we got a genius as the head coach.
Every day with Wyman and Bob.
Natchez RV Resort Phase 2 is open. Reserve your showing now for October 5th and 6th. Ty, tell us about it.
Our Phase 2 features a release of 12 extra-large RV lots starting at only $89.9, complete with full hookups. Don't have an RV? Come see a stunning turnkey park model. It's the perfect way to make Natchez RV your home away from home.
Natchez RV Resort has 300 days of sunshine and year-round family fun. Fishing, hunting, snow skiing, golf, river rafting, outstanding wine tasting, and more.
Our 4,300-square-foot clubhouse is now open with gourmet kitchen, great room, fitness center, showers, and laundry.
Completed are the pickleball courts, playground, dog park, and miles of recreational trails. The saltwater swimming pool and hot tub are just a few weeks away. So reserve your showing now for October 5th and 6th, featuring 12 extra-large lots from just $89.9. 800-422-6009. 800-422-6009. NatchezRVResort.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. With rising interest rates and banks and credit unions continuing to tighten, the demand for our private portfolio loans has never been stronger. Therefore, for a limited time only, Legacy's Opportunity Fund is paying 7% interest on short-term cash with just a 90-day commitment and a 30-day notice to withdraw. It's the perfect place to park your short-term cash. And at 7%, I would challenge you to find a better short-term opportunity in the marketplace today. Don't let your short-term cash sit in a savings or money market account when you can get 7% with Legacy's Opportunity Fund and join the over 800 local investors with over $200 million invested.
Act now to receive Legacy's Opportunity Fund one-time offer of 7% on short-term cash. Visit Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. Legacy Family of Funds investments are available to accredited investors only. 7% APR is current rate for the Legacy Group Capital Opportunity Fund. Terms and conditions at LegacyG.com.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Mariners did some good things yesterday. Logan Gilbert only made 3 mistakes all game, and all 3 of them were just destroyed, taken out of the park. But Houston was better. They get a home run from Bregman, a home run from Tucker, so their stars doing damage as you would expect. Okay, fine, you can kind of handle that. But the 2-run shot from Jason Hayward, that's just insult to injury.
To Hayward, and here she comes. Swinging a well-hit ball deep to right field. Going back, Robles looking up, and goodbye baseball. Upper tank in right field.
Yeah, that one was destroyed. His second game winner against the Mariners this year in his second uniform. Remember, he dealt the death blow for the Dodgers when he was there. Now he ends the Mariners' chance for the division title as the Astros complete the comeback from 10 games behind. They win another AL West title while the Mariners had to stand there and watch. That's not easy to do, as Cal knows.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. So, I mean, it always hurts watching any team celebrate, much less the team you're competing against in the same division. So, yeah, tough, but we got to flush it and know that we got 4 more we got to get done. So.
And this team has been pretty good at flushing it. You got to give them credit for that. And they'll go out there today, Brock, against an Astros team that's probably hungover after celebrating last night. And you get them in a day game following that. Same scenarios you had with the Yankees last week, and you were able to win that finale as well.
And who pitches today? Is it Kirby?
It's going to be Kirby. Yeah, they decided to give Kirby the ball today.
And Verlander?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So pretty good one. You got to win it.
Huh?
What's that?
You say.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's Kikuchi. Yes. Kikuchi.
Oh, that's exactly. Oh, we get to see our buddy Yusei Kikuchi once
If Yusei Kikuchi beats this team and that is pretty much it, that'll to me be much worse than Jason Hayward or anything that happened last night. Yusei Kikuchi, one of the all-time biggest wusses I've ever seen pitch.
Yeah, well,
we get to see him go out and shove against the Mariners would be really upsetting.
Yep, and we get to see the right-handed lineup. Maybe get to see the Mitch Witches.
Oh, right? Together.
Oh, maybe
2 days in a row for the Mitch Witches.
Well, I mean, you might just see that.
Yeah.
And what you saw last night, unfortunately, is Larry Stone, tweeted that just, again, kind of further just stirred it up, is that, I mean, you pressured him. You had people on base. You had opportunities early. Chance put a crooked number up there. Just give these starters just a little bit of breath and a little bit of room. But 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position, 3 different occasions with the runner at third and less than 2 outs. And
Seen
you
that story
can't
before.
Get it done.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, elsewhere, it kind of got even worse. Tigers stayed hot. They beat Tampa at home. They really do feel like the team most likely to get in from this group of 4. Only 2 will. Twins. Wow. As bad as things feel here in Seattle, can you imagine being a Twins fan right now and what's happened with that team just in the last couple of weeks? They lose again, this time to Miami, 4-1. They were never in it, just disgusting. And then the Royals, you don't want to know how the Royals won because they went scoreless into the 10th, scored the only run of the game when the zombie runner came around on a throwing error from the third baseman. And then Joey Gallo up for the Nationals in the bottom of the 10th, hit a ball that had to be 450 feet down the right field line, about 10 feet foul, and then, of course, struck out on the next pitch.
Yep.
So, yeah, you are...
So the reality is you've got to win 2 more than the Twins with 4 to go.
And 3 more than either the Tigers or the Royals.
Well, aren't there... Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. If it was just the Twins, I'd feel pretty good about it. You'd be like, yeah, you could probably get by. The Twins are playing like complete garbage. I feel like you will get past the Twins by the time the season is over. But you're going to have to get past either the Royals or the Tigers. The Tigers feels almost impossible. The Royals have not been playing very good baseball. They're not hitting. And again, they go scoreless into the 10th inning last night. The only run they got, they were gifted. But you're going to have to be 3 games better than them. Not an easy ask here down the stretch.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Much better news for the Seahawks. They're up to number 4, Brock, in ESPN's power rankings, despite the questions on the offensive line and the injuries that have them bringing and talking to Jason Peters once again as just bringing him in for a visit. But the 42-year-old tackle probably tells you a little something about how they feel about both Fant and Lucas right now, right?
I think so. I'll hit a little bit more on that in Blue 88. I think I got a pretty decent understanding of what is happening there. And you look around this league, Salk, and you just continue to see stars going down, starters going down. The Seahawks are not immune to that, just like everybody else. Detroit's going to have some significant guys out of their starting lineup as well. So I don't know. I've always felt this way. Daniel Jeremiah will lean into this in an hour when he joins us. It just feels if this league goes to 18 games, I mean, 17 to me is starting to teeter on unsustainability.
Yep.
And totally just a war of attrition. And can you have people standing? You get to 18, you have to expand the rosters.
It just gets harder and harder.
I mean, you get to 18 because, well, we got to make more money and the pocket's a little bit bigger. The only way you could do that then is to have 55 to 60 guys on a roster in order to sustain it on game day, like to be active, because this current process just feels a little bit uneasy.
Kraken lose 3-1 last night into Vancouver in preseason action, but man, was it a physical, chippy game. Bunch of fights, some nasty moments. Hopefully that's something we'll see a lot more of under Dan Bilesma than we have the last couple of years. And unfortunately, the Storm season ends. They are beaten by Las Vegas to be swept in the first round of the playoffs. So they are out. Fever play, I think tonight. Is that right? If you're interested in watching Caitlin Clark.
Trying to survive.
Could be her last game of the season.
Yes.
That's everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Number 4 in the power rankings. How about that?
That feels a bit high.
It seems a little high.
That feels a little reactionary.
Yeah,
it's kind of the NFL, just kind of week to week.
It's a little high.
Yeah, it feels a little. Yeah, it feels like a little much.
Feels a little hot, but not like crazy hot.
No, because you do watch, and Salk, you do a good job. I think more than Maura does the same with fantasy football. Like I don't really watch all the other games. I know you love Red Zone. I know you've loved flipping around. I'm so tied up.
I try to do that because I don't watch on Saturday. I watch as much. I spend all day Sunday working and watching. I don't really watch much on Saturday.
Correct. Yep. And I eat bonbons on Saturday. At least you think I do. Like, you know, what are you doing? Like, what you get Fridays? So I'm just eating bonbons on Saturday.
I don't say that. When have I said that? What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I channel somebody else?
No, not only that, but I do the work even when I say I'm not going to. I told you I wasn't going to do any work for this yesterday. And then I don't know if it was the guilt. I don't know what. I don't know if I was just like hit with a lightning bolt that gave me some level of inspiration. But we do have questions. If you guys want to win a copy of Madden, and I believe, is this another, you can be either Xbox or PlayStation?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yes, for
sure. It
sure.
is. So you can win either, whatever you desire.
Yep.
We've got a series of questions for 2 listeners. So you got to call in 866-979-3776. This is basics of some of the sports. You got to know all your sports. There's some hockey, some baseball, some football, a little of everything.
Oof.
But you got to understand none of these questions I think are that hard. But I'm curious to see.
I thought they were brutally hard.
Really?
Oh.
Which one?
The hockey ones.
You thought the hockey ones were really hard?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to count out loud.
I've got 3 hockey questions, a couple of baseball questions, a couple of football questions. We got some multiple choice mascot questions. So if you think you can answer those successfully.
And if you've already been a contestant, Rocco, sorry, you can't join in again.
What's the other guy's name? Miserable Larry?
Lousy Larry.
Lousy Larry.
Lousy Larry.
All right.
Lousy Larry.
866-979-3776. 866-979-3776. If you want to play our game to win a copy of Madden, call in. We'll do it next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Mariners broadcaster Aaron Goldsmith.
When people talk about how well the Mariners are hitting right now, and the September numbers are incredible, there is a portion of the pie that needs to be allocated to Edgar Martinez for credit. Probably Justin Turner for the credit. But there's a large part of the pie that people need to realize, they've been healthy. They've had their full lineup. Obviously, if the Mariners had this, April through August, the Mariners and the Astros are in very different positions right now.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and obviously as I was driving into work today, I turned on the windshield wipers, first on intermittent, fine, then on low, okay, but then eventually all the way on to high while I was on the highway because it was pouring out. Yeah, I wanted to get inside just like the rats and the rodents do this time of year. They can't wait to get into your house and out of the cold and out of the wet. When they get in there, though, guess what? They start eating stuff. They're reproducing, and now you can end up with destroyed insulation. Your house gets colder in the winter. You're paying more in your heating bills. That is why Crawl Pros not only goes where you don't want to, but they're partnering with Puget Sound Energy to provide special rebates on insulation work. So if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you may qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Take advantage of these enormous rebates today. Call Crawl Pros to learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free, and what energy rebates you might be eligible for. Call Crawl Pros before this weather gets worse. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
All right, Seattle fans, the gloves are off. Techline has the strongest warranty in the business. Give Techline a call, and we'll come out for a free inspection. Take advantage of our easy financing and our summer special. Trust Techline.
When you want to kick your weekend off right, Muckleshoot Casino Resort is always a big hit. Hey, it's your boy Cliff Averill. The biggest and the best in the Northwest is now bigger and better. Mark your calendar for a night of nonstop laughs with my guy and Washington's own Joel McHale, live at the Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, October 3rd. Gather your crew and meet up at Market 253 for delicious food and drinks before the show. Get your tickets to Joel McHale at MuckleshootCasino.com, and please game responsibly. All roads lead to Muckleshoot.
I was having trouble getting up and down my stairs at home. I thought, well, this isn't going to work because how am I going to go to Utah and do some hiking?
When Judy came to Sound Pain Solutions, her knee pain was preventing her from enjoying an active lifestyle. She was diagnosed with osteoarthritis. She tried numerous treatments and was told she should have surgery. I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We were able to get Judy back to hiking with our comprehensive, non-surgical, and drug-free treatment.
I think that the Trigenics that they do along with the adjustment, the pressure wave, and the PRP are the best options for joint pain. And I would really recommend it to anybody who is suffering from joint pain and would like to avoid surgery.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our safe, drug-free, non-surgical treatment by calling Sound Pain Solutions or visiting soundpainsolutions.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with no credit financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. It's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment needed and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
We're here with Corey Heston, owner of Heston Door Service, with big news. Heston Door Service has been voted best garage door company in the Pacific Northwest by you, the people, in the Seattle Times.
Thanks, John, and definitely thank you to our customers. But we're not done yet. Heston Door Service's goal is to be your one-stop shop for commercial and residential garage doors. We provide service and installation all the way across Western Washington. Find out more at HestonDoorService.com.
When an emergency happens, be the first to know. Alert Seattle helps you stay safer and connected. This free service includes alerts about severe weather, safety, health, utility disruptions, major traffic accidents, and more. If you live or work in Seattle, Alert Seattle is the city's official emergency alert system. Sign up for text, email, or phone alerts during emergencies near your home, work, school, and more. Text Alert Seattle to 62783. Alert.seattle.gov to learn more and sign up.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Oh, you ready for a little quiz fun, Brock? With a phenomenal prize. New Madden game, which, of course, Brock is doing the play-by-play for. Color commentary, I should say. Part of the play-by-play team.
Thank you.
Play-by-play is, I guess, a little bit more generic in this case. But, yes,
okay.
I was using the royal play-by-play, I guess. And so, yeah, this one's actually PlayStation. I know I said earlier that it would be both. It's just PlayStation, and I believe both of our contestants are aware of that. So let's meet them. First off, we've got Andrew. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
Andrew, tell the millions that are listening right now a little bit about yourself, if you wouldn't mind. Height, weight, where you're from, high school, sports knowledge, anything you want.
I'll leave my height and weight out, but I went to Clover Park High School in Lakewood.
Okay.
Oh, little Clover Park. You know what I did to Clover Park? I owned them. I think I threw
I bet you
15 touchdowns back in the day. That's when they were the Warriors. They had to change, obviously, the nickname. But, yeah, I owned. Andrew, I destroyed Clover Park. That was back in the
1900s?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was. It was back in the 1990s.
Andrew, how old are you? Like 25?
No, I'm 40. I'm just messing with them.
You know your hockey? Do you know your baseball? Do you know your football? You know a little of all of it?
Hopefully.
All right. So, all right, hang on. Hopefully. That was not a lot of confidence.
That's not a good
We'll see.
answer.
All right, let me go to Bob. I've got Bob in Mill Creek. Good morning, Bob.
What's up, guys?
Oh, my gosh.
Woo! This is my kind of guy. Yes.
Let's do this thing.
Bob, what do you do for a living? Is it just drinking
I'm
energy
driving a
drinks?
tow truck, man.
Drive a what?
Nope, I'm driving a tow truck.
Tow
I'm out here
truck?
picking you guys up off the highways.
Okay, not
Heck
that
yeah,
tow
you
truck
are.
that they have at the museum that's just a tow, right? It's an actual tow truck?
No, man, I got a badass truck.
Okay, of
Yeah.
course you do.
Bob, you ever, yesterday I was on the highway and I saw them have to tow one of them big semis, man. You ever had to do that?
Yep, I have done that. I did it over in Idaho, though. Yeah, big rigs like that.
Big
That's
rigs,
a hard
okay.
job.
All right.
Bobby, how old are you, Bobby? How old are you?
I'm 58, and the only one that calls me Bobby is my grandmother.
And,
so,
and
you know,
Brock. Yeah, I can see it. They have a lot in common.
Let's go, Bobby.
All right, you guys know how this works. You guys both know you're both competing for a Madden game. You're both okay with PlayStation? That's okay with both of you?
Oh, yeah, I'm down.
All right, and here's how it works. We'll ask a question. When you know the answer, say your name.
Say your name, say your name.
And whoever's name we hear first will get the opportunity to answer that question, okay? You ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Question number 1 is a baseball question, Brock. Question number 1 is a baseball question.
Okay.
What does the umpire call with runners on first and second, 0 or 1 out, and a pop-up? Andrew.
Bob. Infield fly.
Andrew is correct.
Okay, Andrew.
Wow.
Okay, Clover Park stepping up.
All
Okay.
right. See, Brock, I told you these weren't that hard.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Let me get my stuff in here. I wasn't.
Did we play any
prepared.
music last time we've done this?
I don't
or
know.
no?
It's hard
Do
to
we have
keep
any-
Lyle focused. So who
Lyle, do we
knows?
have any
Gotta beat
music?
you singing, Brock.
Huh? What's that, Bobby? What'd you say, bro?
I said it's got to beat you singing.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Okay.
This is fun. It's just like having a heckler on the show with us.
Bob's got some juice.
All right, you guys want a football question? Football question.
Yes.
This one came up yesterday, Brock.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
What is a 9 route?
Andrew.
Andrew again.
A go route or a seam?
Wow.
Oh, this dude.
Andrew's ready.
This dude's like, you know what, Heward? Clover Park sucked in the 90s, but not anymore. Like, not anymore. Dang. Andrew.
Brock, you want to ask one of the...
No,
you
I got
want me to keep going?
I got one of my mascot things?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's going to require me to put my
All right,
glasses on
I'll do
real
one
quick.
more if you need.
Yeah, go ahead. Do one more, and then I'll...
All right, I got a hockey question for you guys. The goalie in hockey wears a glove on one hand. What 2 items are on his other arm and hand? Bob.
A stick.
Yeah.
And what is that pad called? The pad. I don't know. The pad.
The pad.
God.
The stick in the pad, Salk.
Are you going to give it to him?
I'm not going to give it to him as for
Shield?
pad.
What do
No,
you call it?
it's not a shield, and it's not a pad. I'm sorry.
What is it?
And I think it's too. I don't think we can do a steal on this one. So
No.
that would be the blocker.
I wouldn't know anyway.
That's the blocker. Yeah, you wear
Bob,
a
that's called
blocker.
Now I know.
Bob, we were looking for.
We were
the
looking for blocker.
Okay.
Or you could just keep yelling
Yeah, that
pad.
makes sense.
Okay, here we go.
Pad.
Here we go. We'll see if you guys know mascots as well as Salk knows mascots. University of Washington is traveling to one of the beautiful towns in the country known as Piscataway, New Jersey. No, Bob, just take it down a notch.
Chill,
You
Bob.
don't even know.
You haven't asked a question yet.
Gosh. The mascot for Rutgers University is
Bob. Scarlet Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, Bob was ready
Okay,
on
we
that
back in the game.
All right.
Oh, I didn't even do my multiple choice.
Yeah, you don't need to. I don't think you
No.
need them. These are easy enough.
Okay, way to go, Bobby. I mean, Bob. Sorry, apologize to your grandmother.
All right, I got a football question. How many players can be on the line of scrimmage for the offense?
Andrew.
Bob.
7.
7 is correct.
Wow.
Man. I thought that might lead to a challenge.
Yeah.
No?
Hey, Andrew, question for you. Since you're just crushing this, maybe as good as you. Chris last week was pretty good too, but you're just crushing this. How many times do you listen in the morning, Salk and I, and just yell at your radio or your device and like, you're idiots? Yes, so
All the
stupid. Oh, that's good.
Both of us or just me?
Not both of us. Both of us.
It's both of you. Mostly Brock. It's mostly Brock.
Oh, wow. That's nice of you to say. Appreciate that. You want to ask another?
You want another mascot?
Yeah, give me another mascot.
Okay, here we go. Salk mentioned Caitlin Clark tonight. She loses. They're done. The WNBA Indiana blank. The Indiana Pacettes. The
Andrew.
Andrew.
Beaver.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
This Andrew
Fever.
guy.
Right. Andrew is dominating this.
Bob, like you're in it, Bob. Like
All right,
I can
gotta
tell
go.
you.
I'll go back to hockey to make it harder. We'll go back to hockey to make it harder. Hockey. I got. You want an easy hockey question first or a harder hockey question, Brock? We'll do the easy one.
Do the easy one.
How long is the penalty for fighting?
Bob.
Andrew.
Who'd you
Bob.
hear first?
I heard
Bob.
Bob,
Okay,
yeah.
Bob.
3 minutes.
It's not correct.
Oh,
No.
doggone it, Bobby.
Ah, man.
There's a band with this name.
Bobby came in so hot. So hot.
Yeah, I know. I thought I was going to kill it.
Bob, that's 5. 5 for fighting.
Bob, you have
5-minute major.
5 for fighting, really?
You get 5 minutes.
that's a long
5-minute
time.
major for fight. Yeah, it's a long time.
So, Bob, years ago in the 90s,
It's a quarter of a period.
Last century, as Andrew pointed out when I played, we played the Arizona State Sun Devils. And rest in peace, Pat Tillman was on the team. We're driving over the 520 bridge. It is raining sideways. It is a typhoon. We cross over in the stadium, and look at Arizona State out on the field, shirtless, expending all this energy, trying to show, like, oh, this doesn't bother us. I'm like, you guys, you're dead. Bob, I'm feeling that way. You came on so hot. You expended so much energy just with the intro that I don't know.
Here's a tidbit for you. When you guys played Arizona State down in Tempe, I was there, but I think it was your brother, right? That threw the interception. Was that you? Or was that your brother?
Brock has this great 4th and 17 moment, right?
Yeah, I had the 4th and 17, the miracle in the desert, Bobby. I mean, that's all I remember from my trips down there.
I got a text here saying, I have a feeling Bob's going to be given a hair sample if his employer is listening to this.
Hey,
Okay, here, I got one off.
We don't do that.
I got one off the cuff here. I want to see if these guys are really loyal listeners to the Brock and Salk Show. Monday mornings, we chat with Mike McDonald. Every Monday, as we did Pete Carroll for 14 years. Mike McDonald, on Monday, told us what position he played back in the day in high school. What position?
Andrew.
Gosh, of course. Yes.
It's going to be me, fullback.
Jeez, Andrew is dominating this.
Wow.
This is a legitimate butt kick.
I'm ridiculous.
Hey, Maura?
Thank you.
Hey, Maura, you're going to have to
You're
get...
ruining my day.
All right, I got some baseball. Maybe Bob can bounce back in baseball so his day isn't ruined.
Man, I don't know.
Bob, and both of you, but
Yeah.
what happened in a baseball game? What happened on a play scored F9?
Bob.
Bob, go ahead, Bob.
Is that back to the pitcher?
Oh, Bobby! Doggone it, Bobby!
The right fielder.
Golly, Bob.
Pitcher's 1. The right fielder is 9. What do you mean I know? You can't say I know. You were off by as far away from the right fielder almost as you could get.
I'm horrible.
Yes,
No,
you are.
I know. I'm just messing this up, man.
Now I'm
This is
just
horrible.
I'm now just asking questions just to
You already
see.
said you ruined his day.
Well, that's fine. I'm now just asking questions to see how much Andrew knows. Andrew, you ready
I
for a
hope
hard
nobody
one?
hears. I hope nobody out there hears me that knows me, because I'm never going to live this down.
Yeah, go ahead.
On a hockey rink, how many face-off dots are there?
6.
Bob, what do you got?
5.
No. Andrew,
I knew
you
hockey was going to be a problem.
Yeah. Andrew, did you answer? Was that you who said 6?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Andrew.
It's 9. 9 dots.
9 dots.
Oh, thank
5
goodness.
circles.
At least he missed one.
You got 2 in each offensive zone. You got 2 in the neutral, 2 in each neutral zone, and then the center ice dot.
Salk, have you looked at the text toy at all? Any response to Bob's performance or Andrew? Anything popping up there?
I would crush Andrew and make him look like Bob Jr. How many chances are you guys going to give Bob?
I am Bob Jr. How did he know that? That's crazy.
Andrew and Elma's excited for Andrew through some sort of mutual Andrew pride.
Yeah.
Or that's
okay.
Kind of weird.
All right, here's one I got written down. This is another mascot one. Andrew or Bobby, you're on the road. You're on the road a bunch. The mascot of the Central Washington University. The Central. Oh, come on, Bob. Come on, Bob.
I'm going to guess. Is it the Wildcats?
Hey. All right, Bobby.
All right, I just got one more. Last one. Bob
Way
is
to
already
go,
lost,
Bob.
but we'll
Sir,
ask
hey,
one
Bob.
more.
Hey, Bob. Way to dig deep right there, bro. You didn't give up on yourself. Way to go.
No, I never do. Never do.
This one's a little
Here we
iffy because it doesn't really happen as much anymore with some of the changes they've made in the game. But is it legal to steal signs from second base?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Yes.
Technically, no, but they let it go.
Wow, Andrew's good, man. Andrew, we're gonna have to get your number when we do the Jeopardy, right, with the greatest contestants that have won. We may have to circle back to you, Andrew.
And Bob, we're going to put you in the running with Lousy Larry one day, and you guys can both feel shame together.
Hey, as long as I'm on the radio, I could care less. That's
It
good.
seems like that
I'm
was
good
really
for
your goal here. Bob, how come you don't call in more?
No, actually, the game was my goal, but that's all right.
It doesn't feel that way.
No,
it feels
it
like it was
does.
more just a
No, it does, Bobby. I know.
Bob, call back Friday at 9:30. We'll get some of your opinions on life.
Yeah, dude, I was going to call in and leave a message on that thing, too, but I haven't downloaded the app yet.
What?
Whoa, Bob.
What?
Don't
Yeah, I
out
know.
yourself like that. Go download the
Bob,
app.
you're right,
Oh my
right.
gosh. All right.
Bob.
Bob,
I
goodbye.
definitely want to hear Bob's here.
No, I'm hanging up on Bob now. Go download the app. Stop messing around. As for Andrew, hang on the line, Andrew. And
Andrew, the most talented thing to ever come out of
that was
Clover Park High School.
pretty impressive. That was a pretty good win.
Wow. Way to
All
go,
right,
Andrew.
Andrew's on hold. He's won the Madden game, and great job by all.
And more, I'm
mostly.
serious. You're going to have to get his number. When we do the greatest, I think at the end of this thing.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that
What
was...
are you gonna do for the winner? Like bring them with you to a Madden taping or something?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Although Andrew didn't feel like a fan of, the Puyallup High School thing. He
253 says the questions were too easy. Really? Not for Bob. He got most of them wrong. I mean, geez. I feel like those are about right.
He was confident on the F9. He was really confident. on that
Yeah,
one.
he got that one
Right onto the picture.
really
Yes.
wrong. Let's do some Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewart breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
425 wants Bob versus Larry. Similar knowledge, opposite delivery. That's pretty good. All right, question number 1 for you, Brock. What's up with Jason Peters coming in for a workout?
Yeah, well, they know Jason Peters. Jason Peters did some good things here a year ago. He knows how to play. He is a very large human. I will be curious as Mike McDonald and Mr. Grubb shape this team in the years to come, Salk, and address the biggest vulnerability they do have, which is that offensive line. If we see it go down a little more of the Baltimore Ravens path of having truly some of the most enormous humans in the combine and in the draft class, or a little more athletic, or a little bit of a mix, or just kind of as this thing takes shape, right? You can't fix everything in year one. You can't bring everybody in that you want. But I think this is a case of a veteran that knows the building, that knows the personnel, and for some, still pretty young green tackles, especially with George Fant out, I think this is some security. So I would expect he probably comes on to the practice squad, not for this week, but I think sooner than later as just a voice of wisdom, a sounding board in that room. A little bit of what George Fant, honestly, was supposed to be, but unfortunately George on the IR, and you need somebody not only to be that wisdom, but if it happens to be a snap away, that you can activate then from the practice squad. I will say this, it is one of the cool tools compared to, as Andrew said, my era in the 1900s, when once you became like 3.5 years a vested retirement guy, you couldn't play on the practice squad. Like, you were done. You had surpassed that eligibility, and either you made the team or you're out. Now they have waived so many of those things to do what you have to do, right? To expand this number of games in the season, you better expand the roster. They've expanded the practice squad rosters, eliminated some of those restrictions, and a guy like Peters, I think, will be a good fit for that room come, let's say, next week.
All right, question number 2. I played some of the sound earlier in Need to Know, but let me play it for you again. This is Marcus Spears talking about how much he's really enjoyed this Seahawks team, and especially their defense and head coach so far.
The Seattle Seahawks are experiencing a lot of success. 3-0 football team, playing at a very high level. The defense has been revamped by Mike McDonald. You see the secondary now starting to come back to life. The pass rush up front is starting to affect quarterbacks in a major way, and they're playing devastating defense as we thought he would bring from Baltimore. But the explosive plays and the way Geno Smith is playing with ball placement, also explosive plays, the DK Metcalf using intermediate, the run game is starting to take fruition. This is a complete football team that's playing at a very high level on both sides of the ball with really good players. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do down the way. But Mike McDonald has been phenomenal for the Seattle Seahawks.
You hear that and you think what?
Complimentary football. I honestly do. And we'll get into this with DJ in half an hour. So I thought Joel was really good explaining that all that history with Mike McDonald and the conversations that he had with him and the way that Mike looked at the game, and just from a processing and anticipation standpoint, some of these things that we've talked about, Salk. But I hear that and I think, yep, as a young 36-year-old whippersnapper, this guy understands complimentary ball. And he grew up, frankly, in some of the best training grounds for it. John Harbaugh was a special teams coach. Right, he understood that phase of it. He understood how he wanted the offense and defense to marry together. And he sat under that tutelage for a long time. He watched it with Jim Harbaugh in the way that, a defense and an offense complement each other to win a football game. Period. End of story. This is not about stats. This is not about ego. So it gets hard. I've watched a lot of coaches unable to learn this. I really have. And frankly, it took even experienced coaches like Nick Saban and Gary Patterson and some of these guys to understand in the college game. For a lot of years, Saban had the number one defense. But I'm like, why am I losing? Why am I not winning at the rate? Why are these teams putting up? Because the college game at that time, you have to put up offense. You have to go to the no tempo. You have to do the spread. You have to complement your elite defense, and you may give a little, but you do that with an elite offense. And then guess what? Here comes national title, national title, national title. So even some of the old heads, it takes a little bit of beating their head against the wall to learn what true, genuine, complimentary football looks like. I think it's been one of the most impressive things Mike has done here very early in his career.
All right, question number 3.
I don't want to do the one I sent you.
Oh, you don't?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't want to do a QB problem at the NFL level. Do we have a QB problem at the college football level?
Okay, because Kurt Warner was suggesting that we've got a quarterback problem at the pro level, so much so that he can't even watch the tape without getting physically uneasy.
Well, let's play that for DJing. We can play that and see what.
It's not a cut; it's a tweet.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well we can.
I can read it like I
we
just
can
did.
read that. We can read that to DJ.
Yeah.
But so news out this morning. I think you talked about it in the 6 a.m. hour. UNLV's starting quarterback, who transferred from Holy Cross, who has done an amazing job. I think 6 or 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. They're undefeated.
This is Sluka? Matthew Sluka?
This is Matthew Sluka.
Yeah.
A lot of hype around. Maybe UNLV is going to be the group of 5 team or group of 6 team or group of 8 team. I don't even know how many conferences there are anymore that could make this 12-team playoff. They could be the highest ranked team. Some great wins already, including Kansas. This dude has been balling. He tweeted this morning that I'm done. That because of complications, I think word has further come out since then. Some promises that were made in the name, image, and likeness world. I'm sure some monies that were talked about and assured to be coming his way have not come his way, and he is out on the season. Shutting it down so he can redshirt, so he can retain a year, and he can move on from UNLV.
Okay, what do you think of that?
I think it is such an unbelievably sad state of affairs that this is where college football is, with no leadership, no guardrails. And, hey, man, I don't kill the kid. 5 years ago, I'd have killed the kid. I've been like, you've left your teammates. You left them all high and dry. You're not honoring your commitment. But this whole landscape of the game is a disaster. It is a minefield full of explosions. And this is yet another one of them that without any leadership, this is what you run the risk of your product looking like.
That's today's Blue 88. I don't know how you can kill the kid. There were promises made to him that weren't kept.
Yep.
I mean, like, hey, say what you want. This is the system we're in. You made a promise to me that you were going to deliver on X amount of money or endorsements or whatever it is. You didn't deliver on it. I'm not going to play for you.
And we've seen this. We saw it in a big way down at the University of Florida with Rashida, who then transferred to ASU, who's now transferred, I think, to Florida State. You know, and because I think he even had like signed contracts. So now that is like in the legal proceedings of what is a binding contract.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's chaos, man. It is absolutely crazy chaos, and it really does suck for those teammates, and I'm sure it sucks for that kid. I don't think he's going to be wanted put on blast and get totally destroyed for this. And there's going to be.
I don't see what this kid did wrong. He came for a promise, and when the promise wasn't lived up to, he said, "Okay, well, you have to live up to your promises."
That's right.
That feels pretty basic to me. Like, if you're not going to live up to what you said you were going to live up to, then I made this decision under false pretenses. I'm out.
Yes.
See you later.
Yep. But what were those promises exactly?
Well, that I don't know.
What did those look like, and were they really the program? You know, that's the hard part. It's probably not Barry Odom.
Was it some booster that did
it? That's exactly right.
Sheesh.
It's more than likely not Barry Odom, the head coach there.
But the head coach knows about all that, right?
I mean, he may know about it, Salk, but remember where this is. This is Vegas.
Knows what's
and
going
that poor
on.
fella that made that promise, I don't know, maybe he had $50 million in the bank before maybe a couple gambling
Yeah, I was
debts.
going to say,
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
maybe
that
his
money doesn't
fortunes
exist anymore.
changed a little bit because these Seahawks are 3-0.
Kid's going to have to go over to Caesars and ask them for the money instead. All right, coming up next, Maura found 2 cuts from Mike McDonald from the press conference that I hadn't heard until she sent them over last night. And as I read through and then listened to them, Brock, I think it is just another tremendous example of everything I love about this guy so far. I'll play him for you next. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to watch the Seahawks host the New York Giants October 6th.
Throw deep, got DK open, touchdown, Seahawks!
Head to the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab in the bottom of the right corner, and enter for your chance to win.
A 71-yarder to DK!
You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds will be. Do it every day, September 25th through September 30th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Natchez RV Resort Phase 2 is open. Reserve your showing now for October 5th and 6th. Ty, tell us about it.
Our Phase 2 features a release of 12 extra-large RV lots starting at only $89.9, complete with full hookups. Don't have an RV? Come see a stunning turnkey park model. It's the perfect way to make Natchez RV your home away from home.
Natchez RV Resort has 300 days of sunshine and year-round family fun. Fishing, hunting, snow skiing, golf, river rafting, outstanding wine tasting, and more.
Our 4,300-square-foot clubhouse is now open with gourmet kitchen, great room, fitness center, showers, and laundry.
Completed are the pickleball courts, playground, dog park, and miles of recreational trails. The saltwater swimming pool and hot tub are just a few weeks away. So reserve your showing now for October 5th and 6th, featuring 12 extra-large lots from just $89.9. 800-422-6009. 800-422-6009. NatchezRVResort.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, I can feel it. The leaves are changing. The weather's changing a little bit. Summer activities turn into fall activities. What does that mean seasonally at IRG?
Well, at IRG, there is no season. We have direct access. So what we talk about direct access, Brock, is, the summer's over, fall's coming, winter's going to be here, but there's always a good season to get into physical therapy. And when I say direct access in the state of Washington, what that means is if you get up in the morning or have a weekend where you did something and you have a sore back, for example, you do not need to get a referral from your doctor to come see a physical therapist. We can get you in, get treatment started. We know the earlier we get a patient in, the better outcomes that the patient is going to experience, and that's what it's all about, direct access. We'll take care of it for you. Call IRG, and we'll get you in.
With convenient neighborhood locations, you never have to travel far. Visit irgpt.com to get scheduled today. That's irgpt.com.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol-Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Roof now, pay later. Hi, I'm Sam Thomason, owner of State Roofing. Take advantage of our zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for up to a year. We've partnered with leading lenders to make the replacement or repair of your roof affordable. Flexible financing options are available to take the worry out of an unexpected expense. Call us today at 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule a free no-obligation estimate or visit us at stateroofing.com. That's stateroofing.com.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Amazon Hub Delivery.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewart is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
Brought to you by Simply Seattle.
We're going to accuse you of minute.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
Daniel Jeremiah will join us in 30 for our regular Wednesday conversation, and got all kinds of good stuff for him today. Looking forward to that. As we roll on here, Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports on 710, Seattle Sports app as well. And now's a good time to remind you to get your, for Here's the Thing, entries in. Go download the app. Don't be like Bob. He was a terrible contestant. Go download the app, and then you can leave us a message for Here's the Thing. And you can make fun of me or Brock or Lyle or Maura or the Mariners or the Seahawks or, Bob if you want. I don't care. Bob the caller, not Bob the radio host. Don't make fun of Bob the radio host. That's a terrible idea, and that will get you in big, big trouble. But download the app and leave us a message for Here's the Thing tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Brock, 2 cuts here from Mike McDonald. And we've spent a while kind of talking through, all of the, things that we've enjoyed about him. And I'm honestly like over the moon with him as a coach right now. But I heard this yesterday in regard to penalties, and I just love the way he talked about this.
Which ones? I mean, it's kind of both sides, all 3 phases. You can't. I don't know the full number, but way too many. We categorize penalties because if you're gonna toe the line and play on the line, then there's going to be some penalties that you have to be willing to accept to a certain extent. The ones yesterday probably don't fall into that category. So, we'll address those and try to learn from them the best we can. Some of them are decisions that we're making in real time that we can be smarter. Some of them, we're not putting ourselves in a position where we can either block or, do whatever our job is and do it legally.
They categorize penalties.
Yes.
That may not be unique.
Yes.
That he may be one of many coaches that does that. But it's the first time I've ever heard anyone say it. Mm-hmm. And I was really struck by it yesterday. And he kind of goes on to make even some of the point that it immediately made me think of, which is it's not, there's gray area, right? There's a willingness to think about things logically and maybe to allow his team to think a little bit more rather than making everything so rote. It's easy to say penalties are bad, don't take them. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to say play fast, we'll deal with the consequences, penalties are fine. But it does take some trust in your players to understand the difference. Mm-hmm. And when I heard it yesterday, I was pretty wowed by it.
Yeah, those self-inflicted negatives. So, okay, let's rubber meets the road. Rubber meets the road. How do you think they characterize Devin Witherspoon's shot in the late hit on the sidelines versus Anthony Bradford's hold or false starts? Do you think those are in the same bucket? Because I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I think with Spoon, that's exactly what he's talking about. We got to toe the line. It's exactly what Pete would talk about. Get those guys right to the edge, where they have almost like Salk with Buster Olney seeing red and snap, but still can focus, right?
Timely reference.
Yeah. It's only 15 years ago. Bob remembers that, the tow truck driver. So, you want guys right there, Salk. You want them emotionally in a place where I'm going to knock this guy out, and to get themselves there, guess what? Sometimes there may be some extracurricular activities that you got to live with. Mm-hmm. Pre-snap penalties, the worst sin you can commit. Mm-hmm. That truly is a self-inflicted negative, as Chris Peterson talks about. Because Chris also will tell you, as he did on my podcast last week, like, hey, I never would tell the team this, but the reality is there's not a strong correlation between the most penalized teams and the worst teams. And we know that. In 2013, the Seahawks were the most penalized team in the league and won a Super Bowl, right? So, that is actually, through the years, not a strong correlation. But when you have a bunch of mental errors and a bunch of self-inflicted pre-snap errors, those do correlate.
Well, specifically, you mentioned the Witherspoon penalty, and he talked about that.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Spoon about what we were talking about as a defense. I mean, it's Spoon's 3 penalties from really the whole season. I think he's had 3. Has come from just incredible effort. Those one we screwed up a cover one against New England. He covered for the other DB, and probably could have made a better decision late in the play. But up till the very last 10th of a second, you would have said that was a phenomenal play. Same thing goes for the Waddle screen pass at reverse course, and the guy's just flying, and you're turning the corner. It's a clear penalty, but probably could have made a smarter decision, I guess. The DPI, that one, I'm taking that one. That's on me, and we'll keep that in house on why. But that one's on me.
I freaking love this guy, man.
So good.
I freaking love him. Like, I am loving this stuff. Seriously, just that description of all of it is incredible. How is the defensive pass interference on him? I don't know. I want to know. He's not obviously going to tell us, but I'm fascinated by that answer. What do you think that's about?
Which game was that? Was that the Miami game? Because he kind of bounced around different ones. Lyle, see if you can find that. Which game? It's probably impossible to do. Never mind. Don't do that. Just keep watching the Rizzler. I know why you love him, Sulk, because unlike some of these football coaches, I think this dude could cross the street and be a baseball manager.
He might.
I'm dead serious. The way that he processes these things, even when we ask him questions, the way that he processes our question, and then, it's got to make that decision of how much do I really want to share?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they going to run with this? How much, like all the things that are going through his head. And obviously that's made him as a processor a pretty darn good D coordinator that a lot of folks in Baltimore are missing pretty badly.
Yeah.
Pretty badly.
Well, I've never heard anybody talk about penalties like that. I'm sure that others have. Maybe you had coaches that did that.
No, there's many that don't, Salk. There are frankly many that do not do that.
So you think that is actually an important observation, not just he happened to say what a lot of other coaches do?
I think this is a lot of what he's talked about, of chasing edges, of playing in the margins, of trying to unpeel everything you can possibly unpeel to understand as much as you possibly can understand without being paralyzed and having paralysis through overanalysis. Yeah, I think this is what you get in a young whippersnapper. I think this is what
all young whippersnappers.
I think this is what you got from Sean McVay in LA when he started out. I bet you if you went back and listened to the radio shows down there, and heck, we'll talk to DJ here in 15 minutes. He was down in Southern California at that time when McVay came in to the fold. I bet it was the same thing. Like, wow, I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of innovative. Wow, that's pretty cool. Wow, is he able to really process all of those things? Yes, and yes. And, we heard that comp before the season that this is the Hasselbeck even said it. Like, this is
defensive version.
Yeah, this is the defensive version of Sean McVay. Through 3 weeks and all these conversations and the more press conferences we get, I'm starting to understand more and more that there is a lot of that vibe.
Well, it's something that I've wanted to hear from coaches for a long time. And just the idea that, hey, you don't need to just say penalties are fine because you go hair on fire, or penalties are the worst thing in the world, don't ever take them.
Yep.
What a just logical point of view that, again, I think gives a lot of respect to his players. Yes, there's a version of football in which you've got to make sure things are simplified enough for guys to do it, but his scheme's not simple, right? I mean, he's relying on his green dot guys or green dot guys to know a lot and make a lot of calls and decisions and read what's happening. He's got a lot of trust in them. And this, to me, feels like another example of really treating them like adults. It's pretty cool. All right, coming up, we'll give you guys everything you need to know, including what happened with the Mariners last night and what it means for their playoff hopes before Daniel Jeremiah joins us in 20. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 and seattlesports.com.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
3-0 are those Seattle Seahawks. It's pretty impressive, man, and especially the way that they did it. Really, you could say it's a total dominance. Defensively, Tyreek Hill only touched the ball 3 times for 40 yards, so you contained those guys.
And that's all they gave up yesterday, 3 points. Whether it's Skylar Thompson, whether it's 2, it doesn't matter. I mean, a pro team, and that's all they come away with is 3 for the entire game. A tremendous defensive effort out there. They were spectacular.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, one thing I do love about my friends over at First Mark is we are all in the same boat. I know so many of you this morning are wondering, gosh, do I have the right insurance coverage? Gosh, what about these costs? And do I have any understanding of what is actually covered and what these premiums mean? Well, Molly and I were just like you. And we heard so many of these First Mark Challenge victories that save people so much money. We decided, let's take this challenge. It's totally free. And First Mark has saved us thousands over the last couple of years on our premiums. But beyond that, they've been our teammate going to work for us to help us understand exactly what we have covered and not. They fully analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage. And then, unlike you and me, guess what? They go to the market. Dozens of major carriers they have worked with for years to find you the best fit for you and your family. That's it. No stress, no confusion. They're your teammate. And they've spent the last 30 years helping thousands of families, including mine, successfully manage this complicated world of insurance. So don't wait a morning longer. Take the First Mark Challenge. Did I mention it's totally free? And you might be the next First Mark Challenge victory that we get to talk to. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. It's all right there. Firstmarkinsurance.com. Your teammate that goes to work for you.
Mariners 2025 season ticket memberships are on sale now, and there are 2 great options to choose from. With a Flex plan, you can select your games as you go and switch up your seating location throughout the season. And with a Reserved plan, well, you can lock in your games and seats from the moment you come on board. Either way, enjoy access to exclusive pre-sales, no ticket fees, year-round discounts, including at the team store and Hatback Bar and Grill, and so much more. Go to mariners.com/25 today to learn more all about the benefits of becoming a member.
At Sound Pain Solutions, some of the most difficult cases we see are patients suffering from failed back surgery syndrome. Bill is an avid golfer, but his pain got so bad he couldn't play and was considering surgery.
My back was killing me. I could not play any more golf. I could not walk more than half a block. I did not want surgery on my back, and I researched many different ways of getting this fixed. Behind that was horror stories from my friends who had back surgery, but it wasn't worth it, and I just made conclusion to that. There's got to be another way.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We were able to get Bill back on the course without the risk of surgery. We did this using non-invasive, FDA-cleared procedures like non-surgical decompression, laser, pressure wave, and bioelectrical treatments. Now, Bill is back to playing golf and enjoying life. Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free treatment by calling Sound Pain Solutions or visiting soundpainsolutions.com.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and $250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
The multi-dealer Evergreen Fall RV Show this weekend, Monroe Fairgrounds.
Lower prices are finally here.
8 dealers in one location.
Speedway RV Center.
Ryan's RV Town.
RV Country.
Holsville RV.
Open Road RV Center.
Fife RV Center.
Clearview RV.
And Bickford Trailers. The Evergreen Fall RV Show, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Evergreen State Fairgrounds. Sponsored by BECU. First 3,000.
Download $4 off admission coupon.
At evergreenfallrvshow.com.
Choose the right flooring for your home, right in your home, with Floor Coverings International. They bring the mobile showroom to you, loaded with samples of carpet, LVP, hardwood, laminate, tile, and more, so you can see the flooring in your light, not just in a store or on a screen. They handle every aspect of installation, ensuring your complete satisfaction. Visit fcifloors.com and book a free in-home consultation. Floor Coverings International, the stars of flooring. By the time this radio ad ends, another vehicle will be stolen somewhere in the United States. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Share this information with friends and family. Prevent the theft and keep yourself and your vehicle safe. These tips are brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Prostate cancer is the second most common cancer in males. When detected early, it can be curable. Swedish CyberKnife offers a non-invasive and highly precise treatment for prostate cancer, typically requiring only 5 treatments. CyberKnife patients experience minimal side effects and can continue normal activities during treatment. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
It really did look good early for the Mariners. Logan Gilbert was on. Framber Valdez was not. They got to him a little bit early, took a lead, but then the home run ball got to Logan, unfortunately. First it was Bregman, then it was Tucker, fine. But the 2-run shot from Jason Hayward, that felt like an indignity. His second game winner against the Mariners this year. Remember, he did it, last Dodgers game, right? The end of the Scott Service era was a Jason Hayward walk-off. He was later cut by the Dodgers. By the way, he was a player I was interested in here. Ends up going to Houston. He's hit 2 home runs in the last 2 days, including the game winner last night. Of course he would. Frustrating as they go on to lose 4-3 and then had to sit there and watch while the other team celebrated.
Yeah, it's always hard. It's always hard when you watch a team celebrate. And, but I think the message here is that there's a lot of different scenarios that can still take place here. And we keep fighting for, we got 4 games to go. We keep fighting and turn around and see what happens. But, it's a great group of guys in that clubhouse. And they continue to battle each day.
I don't think we could play JP's comments. Did you see his comments?
Yeah, he wasn't wild about how he had hit.
No. Either last night or over the course of 160 games. I think that also is played a little bit of a role. I think we mentioned this a couple weeks ago with Julio, and Julio's come out of it, and Julio's had an unbelievable week, player of the week, an unbelievable month, and again on base yesterday and doing things. I think that's also a little bit of a part of it for me, just speaking individually this season, is that when JP's good, he's an igniter. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to call him Devin Witherspoon or anything like that, but he's just got a different juice when he's producing, a different bounce, a different edge.
Haven't found that all this year.
And it's been zero.
Well, and some of the best baseball they played was actually when he was out, and Rivas was giving them a little bit of that juice day in, day out, and getting on base and kind of coming up with some of those moments. There's no doubt that's been a bummer for them this year. But Dan Wilson staying positive.
Talked about it briefly and said that there's, we got 4 to go, and nothing's been decided yet. And we can take our chances. You win 4 games, and you turn around and see what happens. And that's been the message all along. It's not a different message. It's just been the message all along.
Yeah, we'll get to what can still happen. Some stuff's been decided. The division has been decided. It's a matter of that wild card, and the Mariners are still alive there. George Kirby will get the ball in the series finale later this morning, 11 o'clock first pitch in Houston.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Here's why it's not over. The Tigers stayed hot yesterday. They beat Tampa at home. They do feel like the team that is most likely to get in, right? There's 4 teams battling for 2 spots, and they feel like the most likely. Twins, they're heading in the wrong direction. They feel almost like the least likely. They are losing constantly. This is, 4 straight now for them as they fall to Miami 4-1 last night. And then there's the Royals, and that's sort of the swing team here. Can you get 3 games clear of the Royals? You're going to have to go 4-0 and hope that they go, 1-3? They have 5 games left, so 2-3.
So they got 2 more. Who were they playing last night, the Royals?
They are playing the Nationals.
Okay, so 2 more with them, and then they got to go to Atlanta.
Then they get the Braves. So, yes. Nothing's guaranteed for the Royals. They're not hitting. They only scored 1 run last night in the 10th inning when a zombie runner came around to score on an error. They're not hitting at all. And they nearly lost the game in the bottom of that inning as Joey Gallo hit a bomb that was just foul, then struck out, of course, on the next pitch, as Joey Votto is wont to do, or Joey Gallo, is wont to do.
Just foul, Gallo.
Yes, just foul, and a lot of strikeouts there. A lot. Brock, if you don't like strikeouts, you would not like Joey Gallo very much. No. That is a lot of power and a lot of strikeouts, and unfortunately, that was a strikeout right there. So the Mariners got to get ahead of 2 of these 3 teams. Probably not going to get ahead of Detroit, but can you get ahead of the faltering Twins and Royals? Yesterday was an opportunity that falls by the wayside.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Seahawks up to number 4 in the old power poll, Brock, for ESPN. That's pretty good. They, have some questions, especially on the offensive line. But everything else has just been so darn solid.
Is that Sal Palantino? Who's doing
Sal Palantonio?
Who's doing these
I don't think
polls?
It's Sal Pal.
Is it Jaws watching, crunching all of his hours?
They said it's 80. It's all of their NFL Nation.
Yeah, they get together, Brock. They all vote.
They
Everyone.
Brady and all of his buddies do.
Yes.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Feels like a little bit of a reach, but I will say this. through 3 games of the NFL season, you do realize more than college, more than, well, maybe baseball is somewhat similar. As Passan has said this year, like, man, there's so much parity.
Mm-hmm.
Every team in the NFL has kryptonite. Every team. Even the Chiefs. Like, the Chiefs haven't blown anybody. The Chiefs could easily, by the way, like a play here, a penalty there, a play there, could be 0-3. So it's not as if they are a non-flawed team as well. And, yeah, I don't know, maybe. Like, you go to Detroit and win? Okay.
All of a sudden, I mean,
yes.
Yeah, you got to start looking at the team very, very
and
differently.
realizing the tight ends are good, the receivers are good, running backs are good, quarterback is good, D-line is good, edge is good, linebackers are good, secondary is great. That save for the O-line,
Rich Eisen's been all over them.
And the Seahawks, dude, defensively, they are killing it. And Geno can go up to DK anytime. Smith and Jigba and Lockett. If Kenneth Walker can stay healthy and have a 1-2 punch with Charbonnet, Noah Fant is sitting there. They're 3-0. Rest of their division is 2 games behind them. They have a 2-game lead in their division right now. 2 games. I mean, the only other team that can say that are the Steelers. Jeez. And their next game, oh, man, talk about fun. Monday night at Detroit. That is going to be a fun one.
Why are you getting all
Stop talking about big leads in the division. We don't need to do that.
You've just seen too much of it.
Yeah, we've already done that.
Would you
like
rather not have the lead in the division?
I would, but a 10-game lead.
But would you rather not have the lead? That's everything you need to know.
I think you were in Vegas, by the way, when that. Where were you? You were somewhere.
When they had the
Morocco?
10-game lead,
Yeah,
I was in Portugal.
Yeah, you were in Portugal. I remember, like, you texting, like, 10-game? Like, this is getting real.
Well, it sure seemed real, didn't it? It did not?
Oh, it did.
Yeah, I mean, they had a 10-game lead. That's pretty real. I don't know.
Until it did, and then the Astros win, like, their seventh in 10 years.
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. Good thing they came to this division. Thanks. Appreciate that. By the way, Kraken lost 3-1 in their preseason game last night, but it was very physical, which was cool. A lot of fighting, some nastiness. And the Storm, unfortunately, see their season come to an end as they are swept in the first round of the playoffs by the Las Vegas Aces, led by Kelsey Plum and others. Okay, Daniel Jeremiah, we didn't get a chance to talk to him last week because he had some family stuff and had to move some things around, and so we were never able to catch up with DJ. So we got really 2 weeks worth of material with him, which I'm psyched about. We will be chatting with him about these Seahawks, about this NFL next. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
This is Seattle Sports.
Thompson sets, stops, looks, gets hit, goes down. Derek Hall comes around the corner, and he is there to add to his sack total.
On defense side of the ball, we're just trying to come out, be resilient, start fast, keep going, and finish the game. And I think we did that really, really well today.
Geno from the shotgun, hands up to Charbonnet, left side, he's in, touchdown, Seahawks.
I thought we took a step forward today. It's a great win. I mean, it's awesome to be 3-0, but obviously we got a big one coming up too. So
we are the home of the Seahawks.
Well, for years, you guys know I've been recommending Riverside Roofing as the roofing company you can trust, right? And trust is a big deal. You got to trust that a contractor is going to show up at the right day and time. You got to trust they're going to complete the work and then leave you with a brand new roof that's going to last. Trust that Riverside Roofing would keep your yard and driveway clean of debris like nails and shingles, which they do with the catch-all system. And yes, trust that they'll give you a roof at the fair price. Trust means everything. And when it comes to choosing a roofing company for your home or business, it should be the only deciding factor. It's why I found Riverside Roofing to be exceptional in their work, their professionalism, and yes, their trustworthiness. Riverside Roofing, family-owned local company servicing Western Washington. Give them the opportunity to earn your business this fall. Riverside Roofing has worked with people here at the station, other listeners who I know have heard me talking about them for 6 years. So get in touch. Talk to Dawn and Brandon and Jordan. They're all at riversideroofingllc.com, and they are the roofing company you can trust.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Allshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy Shannon O'Kelly, president and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Over 40 clinics throughout the Pacific Northwest, Shannon. What type of staff and what are you looking for when you hire?
Brock, we are looking for that person out there that wants to create opportunities to teach, instruct, and coach their patients and develop relationships with our team, our community, and then again, like I said, your patients. It's so important that we have people that are excited and positive and want to come to work and create a culture that we are striving to produce here at IRG. And that culture is what I call going towards the light. The soft skills in healthcare, the communication, the aha moments that all of us as clinicians want to do every day in our jobs, and we have it here at IRG.
And if you're a physical therapist or occupational therapist or exercise technician, athletic trainer, front office coordinators, there's opportunity for you. Head over to irgpt.com/careers and apply today. irgpt.com/careers.
If you haven't heard yet, Toyota's Camry called an audible with the brand new hybrid 2025 Camry. And at Toyota of Kirkland, they're excited to put it in play. Backed by the lifetime powertrain warranty, the incredible team at Toyota of Kirkland will set up your test drive so you can take home that 2025 hybrid Camry the same day. Come check it out at the amazing showroom at Toyota of Kirkland or visit online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
Listen throughout the week to the Mariners Player Spotlight.
Ever since I got here, I want to win a World Series in Seattle, and this city's starving for another winning team.
Presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with no credit financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
This hour is brought to you by Amazon Hub Delivery.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, if you're watching either on the YouTube stream or on the website or at Seattle Sports app, you're seeing the 3-box right now because Daniel Jeremiah is with us for his weekly conversation. Good morning, DJ. How are you?
Salk, I don't know. You tell me. I mean, literally the most evil empire in the history of mankind goes down with a triple play last night. I mean, I think all of society is doing well.
I heard the Don Orsillo call, which is pretty awesome because Dio's the best. He is the best. And great call. What a way to clinch, huh? With a triple play?
Gosh. Yeah, a walk-off triple play as our closer's collapsing with Shohei Ohtani on deck. And they try and get a bunt down. Rojas doesn't get it down. They swing away, and then Machado to Cronenworth to Solano. I'm sitting there with my son watching it, and I'm like, that's three.
That's a legit 5-4-3 too. I mean, like normally triple plays, you get the as a line drive and there's a tag. That's a ground ball, right? 5-4-3.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yep, ground ball, and then Machado has a huge arm, as you know, and then Cronenworth, who used to be a former pitcher. I don't know how many second basemen have that type of arm to be able to get that around the horn. But it was a fun night watching that.
Yeah, ours was not as fun.
So if you're tuning in to Daniel Jeremiah, tuning in to Daniel Jeremiah thinking NFL and Seahawks, no, you tuned into the wrong station. We're talking Padres and Mariners.
Yeah, they're not out.
Well, I mean,
they're close.
Well,
to
I mean,
out.
look, the Seahawks and the Padres do have a lot in common. You know, the Mariners and the Padres not so much, but the Seahawks and the Padres, you know, two teams that are on their way to the postseason.
Can we talk about these Seahawks? So ESPN just had their power rankings yesterday. They put them at number 4. Maybe that's a little hot, but I mean, is that a realistic number for where the Seahawks are right now?
I think it's so early. You know, I think you got to let everything settle, and I think especially since we went to 17 games, I feel like that's further out. Like it used to be, you get through the first quarter of the season, get through 4 games, and it was, you know, okay, we got a handle on it. It feels now like we got to get to week 6 or 7, just kind of let everything settle in. But I do look. We talked about it before the season started. You know, the first week, I really like this personnel they have on defense, and then it was going to be about, you know, can they come together? You know, new systems, both sides of the ball. How long does it take to get up and going? They hit the ground running. So no, I'm a believer in this team in terms of, do I think they look like a playoff team? 100%. But I mean, top 4 at this point in time, I think it's too early.
Rewind back, if you would, DJ, to when Sean McVay came to Southern California down there, and how quickly you realized, wow, this guy's innovative. He's a disruptor. He's got an opportunity to really transform this organization. Can you take me back to then? Because I'm feeling a lot of those vibes with Mike from the defensive side of things.
Yeah, I think that's a great call, by the way. I think one of the things they have in common is they're highly intelligent. And a lot of times when you get guys who are intelligent, you get kind of, for lack of a better phrase, kind of like book nerds that maybe don't relate to the players, and maybe there's a passion component that's missing with it. But this is incredibly smart how they play. But the energy is very high. They're playing very fast. There's a lot of confidence when you watch tape on both sides of the ball. And look, give John Schneider a lot of credit as well. I mean, they've got a lot of pieces here. It was a good job to take. And just like when McVay got to the Rams, you know, he had to mentally kind of rehab Jared Goff and some of those other pieces to get them to believe in their talent. But there was talent there as well. I think that's one of the things these places have in common. There was talent there, and it looks like really kind of the right guy at the right time.
So the other thing that we've noticed, and we were going to talk to you about this last week because it was sort of a big talking point for us throughout the week, is he speaks in a way that is more vulnerable than almost any coach I can think of across sports. I mean, he just seems very willing to be wrong, to say that he doesn't know, to say that somebody else is doing it better or understands it better. And if he's willing to do all that with us, I can only imagine what that's like in the building. How rare a quality is that?
Well, I think that's rare, but I also think it's the one key ingredient when you're hiring a coach. But people will say, do you want the disciplinarian? Do you want the players coach? Do we want somebody who relates to players? Do we want somebody who's domineering and sets a standard? At the end of the day, and I think you guys have seen it in every sport that you guys cover, it's authentic guys. You just want people who are real. They're who they are, and there's no pretense, no fakeness about them. So I think even more so maybe than the vulnerability, I think it's just the fact that he's real. He's just a real deal. He's comfortable in his own skin, which sounds pretty basic, but you guys talk to a lot of coaches in a lot of sports. It's actually pretty rare.
Especially at 36 years old and trying to, you come in new and you're replacing a potential Hall of Fame coach and Pete Carroll. I mean, I would think a lot of guys around the NFL would have the instinct to try to prove how smart they are, how great they are, how great their system is, what their credentials are. And it feels like he almost goes out of his way to do the opposite.
Yeah, and I think, some of that is, and look, I'll get to Brock on that one. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but there's nothing worse than the guy who comes in trying to compare himself or be the guy that he just replaced. And Pete, I think he will end up being a Hall of Famer. Obviously, he's a Super Bowl champion. So that would have been a mistake to come in there and try and out Pete Carroll. It's to me it's hats off to him, and not only who he is as a coach, and more so just kind of how he was raised and who he is as a person. He's just very comfortable in who he is.
I would say, DJ, through 3 weeks and 8-9 months as we've gotten to know Mike McDonald, what jumps out to me the most, and Klatt highlighted this when he jumped on with us yesterday, is many of these young whippersnappers come into it as, I'm the offensive mind. I'm the defensive mind. I got this brilliant scheme. And you have seen it through all these years in the NFL. It strikes me that I know Mike McDonald calls the defensive signals. He is the acting defensive coordinator. But I don't feel this team being a defensive-minded team, a defensive head coach. I'm seeing a complementary coach that totally understands through data, through scheme, through play calling, like we have to be complementary. And to me, at 36 as a first-timer, that feels a little bit unique. What say you?
Yeah, no, and I think that's where you go back to your McVay comp. It's not normal. Normally you get guys that have an expertise and are kind of on cutting edge in terms of scheme, and we've talked about that before about where this scheme is defensively. It literally is getting mimicked all over the league. But they're kind of missing that big picture, can't see the forest through the trees type thing. So I think that's why you kind of get those special guys that come along. And I don't want to put him in the Hall of Fame, give him, a gold jacket at this point. I mean, it's just been 3 games, but the message is landing. What he's speaking, what he's preaching to his team, it's landing. And I saw it in the preseason. Like when I saw him come out there in the preseason and we talked it, I'm like, this team is, and for a preseason game, they were flying around the field. They were playing extremely hard on both sides of the ball. So his message, he got that out right when he got there, and everybody's completely bought in.
Talking to Daniel Jeremiah, as we do every week at this time. A couple of weeks ago, after I think the first game of the season, you said you wanted to buy stock in Boye Mafe as a superstar.
Good idea.
Where's that stock looking today? And any chance you'd be thinking about, maybe a slightly smaller buy on Derek Hall to see if it pays off, maybe a penny stock for one day down the road?
Yeah, well, it's doing better than the Peloton stock I bought after the pandemic, I can tell you that much. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen something go from 90 to 4, by the way? That's not great. That's not a great move.
MCI, maybe? Back in the day? Yeah.
Yeah, not good. I knew where you were going, so I pulled up my Derek Hall notes, my pre-draft notes.
I like this.
So Derek Hall coming out was just under 6'3", 254 pounds. He's got really long arms at 34.5. He ran 4.55, which is incredible time for an edge rusher. Long, explosive. They used him as a walk-around rusher there, so they kind of moved him around. Big time close. He struggled a little bit with the better tackles that he went against, so that's where he ended up in the draft. But he played with huge effort, and he could really set the edge. So he's one that, when you look, he was my 64th player. So I was, in hindsight, based off what I looked at on tape this last week, I was even low on him. But this is somebody, when you think about explosive, long arms, and plays really, really hard, that's a good foundation with which to build.
It's crazy because, DJ, he was awful last year. I mean, he was...
Yeah. He didn't have a plan. He didn't, coming out, like there was no rush plan. He had a lot of this stuff in his body, but he just didn't have an idea of how to win, and that takes time for guys. Some guys never figure it out, but there is, I always come back to the effort component. Like if you care, if you show me that you care with your effort, you're going to care in working to get better and developing as a player.
So how do you account for some of that stuff in scouting? Brock and I were talking earlier this week about Bryce Miller, Mariners pitcher, who's been unbelievable this year, and partly because he's totally added a pitch or two that have really helped him with lefties. Last year they hit 300 against him. This year it's like 200, all because of the splitter and the work that he's done to get better. How do you account for what a guy will do or could do or be taught to end up being a better player or not as good a player as those measurables would indicate?
That's really the crux of scouting right there, is figuring that component out, because we can all look and we can all measure and we can all watch and see what we see. There's no secret sauce. I get like, what are you looking at? What do you see here? What do you see there? I'm like, I see the same things you see. Some of it's obvious, it's just traits and those things, but the makeup component and how how much they care about it. I've looked at two positions specifically with receivers and with pass rushers, and I've, over the last 20 years, and when I get to talk to those guys, it's interesting. When you talk to the guys at those positions who look at it as a craft and how it's kind of a constantly learning and growing and evolving, and they're watching other players at their positions, I think it's almost more critical at those positions than anyone else, because those are true skilled positions. You can get away in college. You can just be bigger and faster and more explosive than the guy you're going up against, because you're going to see one or two NFL tackles the whole year. But in the NFL, you've got to be a craftsman. You've got to be someone who's constantly growing and evolving in that way. And it's receivers the same exact way. You can get by on just speed in college. I mean, you might be playing against 3 corners the whole year that run in the 4.4s. So you can just simply run by everybody else that you play. Well, you can't do that in the NFL. So I always like to ask these guys when I visit with them, who are you watching? Who are you studying? What did you do this last offseason? Like from your sophomore to your junior year, what did you get better at, and how did you go about doing it? And if they don't have a precise answer on that, usually that's a little bit of a red flag.
Oh, man, there was a tight end that I really liked, whose game I just covered. But along those lines, DJ, we were in production meeting with him. He's like, I don't watch the NFL. Like, I don't watch football.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, I really hated that answer. Like, don't
not a great
say
answer.
Right? But on the flip side, I am sure, DJ, there have been guys through the years, the last 10, 15 years, that like ignorance is bliss. Like, no, man, I go play and I don't overthink it, and that's fine. So I mean, is that rare in today's game?
Well,
that you can be one of those guys. It's just like, I don't really like the sport. I don't really watch the sport. I'm just so talented and so good at it.
I think there's some, like, to me, if you're a corner, I mean, I would love it if you would study other guys, but that's a position where your physical gifts, it's a reactionary position, and your physical gifts can kind of carry the day. So that one I wouldn't get alarmed by. I think about a running back. A running back he can watch, he can watch The Bachelor 5 nights a week and not watch tape. I really don't care. I'm going to hand you the ball. You got to see it and go.
Yeah, Marshawn, just do your thing. Okay, so along those lines, we had a great chat yesterday about a guy that's eaten up a lot of our airtime. His name is DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Where is DK? I mean, it's unbelievable. He's 26. He's a year older than Cam Rising, for goodness sakes. He's 26 years old. He'll be 27 in November. Where is DK in the hierarchy of the best receivers in the game today?
Well, first of all, he was a great value pick in my fantasy league this year, so he's really helped me get off to a hot start.
Nice.
With DK, so I'll start there. But talent-wise, like, there's things, and if we were to use the baseball analogy, he's not a 5-pitch pitcher, but he does the 2 or 3 things that he does as well as anybody in the league. Right. In terms of getting vertical, running away from people, just the horsepower that he has is so rare. So, I mean, are we going to go out there and watch him and Garrett Wilson run comebacks and say he's going to look like Garrett Wilson doing that? No. But he does his 3 things really, really well at an elite level. And I love the fact that Grubb's kind of figuring out different ways to utilize his skill set. It doesn't just need to be a, go balls, slants, and crossing routes. Like, okay, we can hit you with a little dig and go, which hats off to the pass protection on that one, allowing that one to get uncorked. But, they're finding fun ways to use that.
So is a 3-pitch pitcher a $35 million guy? Because you absolutely know that he's looking at CeeDee Lamb, and he's looking at Jamar. He's looking at all these guys that have gotten paid. Hold on, and he's making good money. And when they extended him, I think he was making $20 million at that time. Was like the top of the market, or darn near close to it. But he's looking at it with another year to go, going, "Hey, man, let's go. Like, I'm one of these guys. Can you pay a 3-pitch guy a 5-pitch salary?
If you don't, someone else will. I'll guarantee you that. There will be a robust market for what he does, and especially teams that have young quarterbacks that have a guy like that can make your life a lot easier. I think when there was talk a couple years ago that maybe he could be had, and I know for a fact there were teams that were trying to pry him out of there, and that obviously didn't happen. So there'll be a market for him. I mean, Last I checked, Mariano Rivera threw one pitch, and he might be the greatest
Turned out
closer
pretty
of all
well.
time. Yeah.
I was one of those people at the time saying, even this past offseason, that if it were me, I would have traded DK Metcalf because I don't want to pay a wide receiver that much money. And like, it has nothing to do with him. I just don't think you get value paying a wide receiver at the top of the market. Where are you on just wide receivers in general? Do you think those guys end up being worth it?
If the first number of your age begins with a 2, I'm okay with going to the top of the market, and especially if I should rephrase that. If we can end the deal in the 2s and not the 3s, then I'm good with it. What I would be a little bit worrisome about is you pay the 30-year-old, the 31-year-old top of the market money, and you're expecting him to be that guy as a 32 to 34-year-old. No thanks. But I think that second contract range and getting someone especially as young as DK is, if you want to take him up to his age 29, age 30 season and put him towards the top of the market, because as we all know, what you see as the top of the market today, 2 years from now, is not going to be the top of the market money.
Where are you with your buddy over there at the NFL Network, Kurt Warner? I don't know if you saw Kurt's tweet the other day where he said, what did he say, Saul? You can't even watch.
Basically can't even watch the quarterback play.
He just gets
so
violently ill watching the quarterback tape of the players today. Are you anywhere near this? I mean, I know you had to watch Easton Stick the other day as he came into the game.
No. Taylor Heineke, baby. It's a new era.
Oh, sorry. My
It is a new era.
That's my bad. Sorry about that. Do we have a QB issue in the NFL?
I think. Well, first of all, Kurt's always hard on QBs. Man.
Yeah, he
is. I can't imagine being Kurt. I can't imagine playing the level that Kurt played it, and how probably disgusted he would be at seeing stuff.
Don't you
which
just
I look
smell
at,
like? Don't you just Old Spice? Don't you just smell Mike Martz on him?
Wasn't so much just the complexity of that system that he had to run, right? I mean, the Martz system was super complex.
That's what I'm saying. Like Old Spice, Mike Martz.
Here's the problem. The era before, if we go back multiple eras, right? Troy Aikman was allowed to struggle and suck early. Peyton Manning set the interception record, as a rookie. Like, these guys were either sat, in Kurt's case, was in a different league and had time to mature and then get into the league. And then other guys that got thrown out of the field had time to fail before the expectations were high. So many of these guys now, we have so many of these young quarterbacks, first, second, third year guys that are out there. They're not ready yet, but I always laugh. Like, there's people that think Caleb Williams is never going to be good and he stinks and, it's not going to happen. And I'm like, all right, here's the thing, guys. There's a thing called a remote control. Switch over, click over and watch Baker Mayfield and Geno, and click over and watch what Sam Darnold's doing in Minnesota. These guys don't magically all of a sudden go from the college to the NFL and their talent gets flushed down the toilet. Like, it takes time. Your surrounding matters. Some of it just simply is that. It's just time and reps and playing the game at the NFL level, which is different, and it's not going to be pretty early on. But I also think those 3 Ps that we always talk about, which is pass protection, playmakers, play callers. You look at some of these young quarterbacks that are struggling; they're not being well supported in those 3 areas.
That being said, you got to be a little surprised that when you look at the top of whether it's QBR or quarterback rating, whatever metric you like, that you're seeing Baker and Geno and Sam Darnold and Derek Carr. I mean, all those guys are at least on their second, if not their third or fourth teams. That feels surprising.
I wonder how much of that, DJ, you mentioned Coach Carroll and how beloved he was. He would talk to us, obviously, on the air, a lot off the air, and he would say all the time the level of expectations on these young guys cripples them. It destroys them. And I think of the great Al Michaels, who, got to his 70s and he just, no filter. He was like our contestant last hour, Bob. Like, no filter. He's just going to say, because he didn't care. Like, he's got the opportunity just to be like, I don't care. I don't give a darn what anybody thinks. I wonder for some of these QBs have been, as Salk said, 2, 3, 4 spots. There is no weight of expectation, that burden that you carry as a young player that's supposed to change and transform everything.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I also just think that playing that position, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but the catalog that you collect with experience of coverages and defenses and combinations and just seeing things like there's no shortcut, there's no fast track on that. You've got to go through it, you've got to see all these things, and the hope is that by the time your catalog is full, you still have your physical ability, and that's what made like Brady's late career run in his 40s ridiculous, was that somehow his body had held up, and nobody had a bigger catalog than he did, and he was still had the physical tools to do it. Whereas you've seen some other guys like Roethlisberger late, like his body betrayed him. So he had the mind, but the body wasn't there, and you've seen that with Drew had his shoulder, so he couldn't do that at the very end. But I think these guys are still really young, but yet they have played a lot, and even though they've struggled, I think kind of having that base of knowledge and then having the tools to go with it. I'd rather have all the catalog of information and be a 7 on a scale of 7 to 10 talent than to be a 10 out of 10 on the talent scale and just not have any of that catalog of experience.
Mm-hmm. Are you concerned? We mentioned the QBs, and you're seeing it there in San Diego, and you have for so many years with a talented Chargers team that just can't stay healthy. You concerned with the level of injuries that we're seeing around the league, or is that just, again, one of these, you're hypersensitive to it early?
Yeah, look, you're always going to be biased based off of what you're close to, and I don't remember a game where I saw like the more marquee players go down. The Chargers lost. They lost the quarterback. They lost both their tackles, and they lost a premier edge rusher in Bosa. All and not too far apart in that ball game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, and then it's I'm going through and trying to make some calls and reading stuff about what the timeline is for these injuries, and then here's a tweet: Derwin James has been suspended for a game for a hit last week. So that's what I'm close to. So that's what I've seen. It seems ridiculous to see that amount of injuries, but they seem to come in bunches for certain teams, and this just feels like this particular team got hit very, very hard.
Seahawks and Lions. Monday Night Football. The one sort of knock on the Seahawks so far is they haven't really played much of anybody. Certainly no great shakes. They played a rookie quarterback making his debut, a backup a journeyman backup in Brissett, and then 2 real backups this past week in Miami. They've seen a little bit of weaponry, at least, with Hill and Waddle. But how big of a step up will the Detroit Lions be from the 3 teams they've played?
Yeah, that's not Skylar Thompson coming into the building, so that's going to be different. They definitely have the most talent that they'll have faced. The other thing I would say is they're going to come in and really challenge them physically. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be, how do you hold up against that? And when I was going through the tape yesterday, it's fun when you're watching this, and obviously Hall was one of the ones that popped, just seeing what he did defensively. But who's good for a game like this was Hankins. Watching Hankins in that game last week, he was excellent in the short yardage stuff. And there's guys like that playing the league forever because you can't move them. And I think that'll be this type of game. I think the Lions will come out and try and mash them because I think we've seen early on in the year the speed and the rush that the Seahawks can generate. I don't think they're going to sit back and drop and throw it 50 times.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to be known as that, a guy you just can't move. How awesome must that be? Like, yeah, you do whatever you want.
When you're Big Mike, Salk, when you've topped 220 back in the day, when you're Big Mike,
can't be moved.
Yeah, whoa, were you 220, Salk?
I was 220 like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm back down to about 200 right now.
No.
Yeah. Oh, you look amazing.
Thank you,
no,
DJ.
This was years and years ago. He was Big Mike. We all called him. Look at Big Mike.
That was
Mike.
back. Yeah.
Look at Big Mike. 220.
Who's the hardest? Real quick before we let you go.
Yeah.
Who's the hardest player to move ever?
Oh, Ted Washington.
That's what I figured.
And Chester. Ted and Chester.
Yeah. Ted Washington, like you could literally, you could put lava 2 inches behind his heels, and he wouldn't even sweat. He wouldn't even be nervous.
He was one of the first players I ever saw in a locker room when I started covering a team, and it was horrifying. He is just a gigantic. Yeah. It's crazy that human beings are made that look like Ted Washington.
I'm convinced that, by the way, if you went down and watched him on the field, that he was not wearing shoulder pads. He was wearing a toilet seat, like the little plastic thing when you go in the airport, you got to put over the toilet. I think he just put that thing over his head. That was it.
Then he donated it to Mike Bennett for use later on in the career. DJ, thank you. I'm glad we got to do it this week. We'll do it again next week as well. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
I appreciate it. See you guys.
All right, and good luck to your Padres. There's Daniel Jeremiah, who joins us every Wednesday at 8:30. It does go fast, I know. And then a little replay Thursday morning at 6:30, which you can hear, of course, tomorrow. And we go from DJ straight into Washington Wednesday, Brock, for a little college conversation. We'll finish it up with some baseball and some mean tweets. I heard Lyle in the other room making noise, yelling and screaming. So it's all coming up. Brock and Salk, one more hour to go on Seattle Sports.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
3-0 are those Seattle Seahawks. It's pretty impressive, man, and especially the way that they did it. You know, really, you could say it's a total dominance. Defensively, Tyreek Hill only touched the ball 3 times for 40 yards, so you contained those guys.
And that's all they gave up yesterday, 3 points. Whether it's Skylar Thompson, whether it's 2, it doesn't matter. I mean, a pro team, and that's all they come away with is 3 for the entire game. A tremendous defensive effort out there. They were spectacular.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I don't want to dig up my yard if I don't have to. That's why I hired O'Neill Plumbing. They're Seattle's trenchless plumbing pros. All rooter, all trenchless, always professional. O'Neill Plumbing since 1917.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
The multi-dealer Evergreen Fall RV Show this weekend, Monroe Fairgrounds.
Lower prices are finally here.
8 dealers in one location.
Speedway RV Center.
Ryan's RV Town.
RV Country.
Holsville RV.
Open Road RV Center.
Fife RV Center.
Clearview RV.
And Bickford Trailers. The Evergreen Fall RV Show Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Evergreen State Fairgrounds. Sponsored by BECU. First 3,000.
Download $4 off admission coupon
at evergreenfallrvshow.com.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today, like the thousands of men who already have.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Robert. Robert, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
I heard an ad, and my wife and I had just got our policy renewals from our previous provider, and everything had gone up quite a bit, 30-40%, so I thought I'd give it a try. It was a pleasant experience, very easy. It only took a couple of days to get the good news back.
And were they able to save you money?
Yeah, we were able to save well over $1,000. Not only did we save money, our agent found that we had some gaps in coverage, and they were able to not only save money, but improve our coverage.
Well, now you can be a good friend, and you can tell everybody about it.
Well, I have. I've, in fact, passed it on to a couple of my good friends, and they're taking the challenge as well. So it's been great.
Robert did it. My family did it. Now you got to do it, and it's totally free. Go take the First Mark Challenge today. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you could be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. Firstmarkinsurance.com.
Hey, everybody. Bob Stelton here for Johnson Fitness and Wellness, where I got my home gym. Now, the difference? Their expert staff. They ask great questions like, what are your fitness goals? What kind of space are you working with at home, and what's your budget? Johnson Fitness and Wellness experts experts get you the right machine for your home gym dream setup. And right now, in-store only while supplies last, mention this ad and our listeners get an indoor cycle for free with Select Force USA Home Gyms. Shop stores in Bellevue, Tacoma, Linwood, or visit johnsonfitness.com.
All right, Seattle fans, the gloves are off. Techline has the strongest warranty in the business. Give Techline a call and we'll come out for a free inspection. Take advantage of our easy financing and our summer special. Trust Techline.
The seasons are changing, and if you're thinking it's time to change what you drive, the incredible team at Toyota of Kirkland will get you charged up with the BZ4X. Toyota's all-electric crossover SUV features an estimated range up to 252 miles, getting you where you need to go. Test drive the BZ4X at the electrifying showroom at Toyota of Kirkland and take it home the same day. Visit in person today at Toyota of Kirkland or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Washington Wednesdays. Brought to you by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Brock, somebody here says that Finch from Wildcats probably give Ted Washington a run for his money.
True.
I mean, if you got Peanut to trip him from behind, land on top of somebody, there's really not much you can do after that.
Speaking of which, you know what also was an anniversary yesterday? Gosh, it was like 19, more than that. Program.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw Bert Breer tweeting about that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, the anniversary of the program coming out.
Poor Mac,
remember, kids were getting in trouble because they were lying down on the street to do imitate the scene where they were lying on the
railroad. You mean?
Or was it? Well, I thought they were lying on the middle of the road on the yellow line, and then they had to like ban that scene from the movies. Kids were spitting in each other's mouth. It was a whole thing. Anyway,
Lyle, you ever seen the program? You seen the program yet, Lyle?
No.
It's Cain is Able.
That's a great football movie. That's pretty good. You should see that one. It's Washington Wednesday, the program, of course, about a college team, Eastern, and this is more about the University of Washington, Brock. They got back on the winning train this past week as they beat Northwestern.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Northwestern is barely in the Big Ten. Where is Rutgers?
Pretty good, man.
I mean, they're not a bad team, right?
No, they're undefeated. In fact, I think. Let's see here. Was it? Look at Bill Belichick. I'm sorry, Steve Belichick, cut number 17, talking about Greg Schiano, his background back there up in the Northeast, and Schiano's built a kind of a bully, fit to his style specifically.
My dad, Coach Schiano, have always had a good relationship, and then while I was down there, developed a relationship with Coach Schiano, as well as Bob Frazier, who works on their staff, who worked in New England in 2019, both those guys are great mentors for me. Spent a lot of time with Frazier when he was in New England in 2019, and as well when I played at Rutgers, so it was very valuable. So it was great to learn from those guys. Really appreciate them.
Damon jumped on my podcast yesterday, Old Dog Talk with Brock, and had a conversation, Salk, about some of these guys you're seeing right now in college football, some market opportunity for them, truly, where there's a 12-team playoff, where there's NIL money, where there's transfer portal, where there is a little more of a level playing field. Sure, there's still the top 4 or 5 power brokers, but, man, there's a lot of other people at that next level that have an opportunity to kind of chase. And when I look at Greg Schiano, when I look at Brett Bielema, when I look at Signetti at Indiana, these guys that know exactly the way we want to build this. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no question about it. There's no wishy-washy. They've done it before. They've done it at other places. Like, this is going to be our style. This is who we are. Jed Fish talking about Schiano and this Rutgers team in particular that is 2.5-point favorites over the Huskies on Friday night. This is cut 15 from Jed. Yeah, you could feel what Schiano's built.
I know that they're having a blackout. I know that they're extremely excited about being 3-0 and playing at a very high level of football. There's no question that, you could feel that Rutgers feels this is their best team they've had in a long time. And Coach Schiano does a fantastic job of making sure that his team is ready to go. I think he's certainly one of the best coaches in college football. So it's going to be a great challenge for us.
Yeah, it's going to be a buckle-up game. I mean, this is going to be, especially for a Husky defense that's done some great things, obviously played terrific against a really bad Northwestern team, a bad Weber State team, did okay against the Cougs, certainly made a few stops and a few plays, but you're going to face the third best running back yardage-wise in college football. This dude is an absolute hammer. So this is a draft, and they're not going to be first-rounders, but this is a draft where you're going to see running back. Maybe the kid out of Boise, by the way, that Klatt was talking about, Jonte, maybe he's going to be a first-rounder. But there are some dudes playing running back in college football right now, and Rutgers has got one of them, and he's rushing for over 150 yards a game. So much like the Seahawks heading to Motor City, going to have to buckle up Monday night. These Huskies heading to Piscataway are going to have to kind of set the same tone Friday night. One thing that does jump out to me when you just kind of look at the numbers 4 games into a season. So you're a third of the way through. This isn't the NFL with 17. Like, you get a pretty good gauge, and things come into clarity really quickly. Steve Belichick's doing a very, very, very good job situationally. I think talent-wise, this is still a pretty average Big Ten defense at that. There's some spots. Carson Bruner, super smart linebacker. Some D lineman, Durfee, that's a super explosive player. But when you are, and this is going to come into play Friday night against a kind of NFL style with Rutgers and an NFL style with, it's going to feel like an NFL game, from a stylistic standpoint. But UW is top 15 in the country on third down defense. Situational ball. That is where you would expect an NFL catalog. I'll use Daniel's word, DJs. That catalog, I like it. When you have a dude in Steve Belichick, with obviously the son of Bill, all that catalog of experience at the NFL level, you should see that translate situationally at the college level. And you are. Top 15 in third down, and then top 5 in red zone touchdown percentage against. And that is huge. Bend, don't break. Just 22%. 1 out of 5 trips into the red zone has your opponent scored a touchdown. That happens Friday night. They've got a chance to win, a chance to get to 4-1, a chance to say, hey, we may not be Ohio State and Penn State, but this next tier down of Indiana, Wisconsin, Rutgers, Iowa, we belong in that conversation. Friday night will be that kind of measuring stick.
Pretty good stuff. All right, that is Washington Wednesday as the Huskies get ready to go across the country and play their second Big Ten game. They played Rutgers just a couple of years ago there, so it's not like...
Do you remember what happened to Jake Browning?
Yeah. Jake Browning got his head
nearly decapitated. I thought he Ichabod craned.
Yeah.
I thought he was done. Do you know who Ichabod Crane is, Lyle? Any idea who Ichabod Crane reference?
Also, no.
No, he's before your time.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a little before my time, too. In fact, I don't know if maybe Bob on the tow truck out there in Waxahachie, maybe Bob knows.
You ever heard of the Headless Horseman?
No, I'm over 3.
No. The Headless Horseman and Ichabod Crane are the same person. I mean, that's like the Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Yep.
No,
yeah, Kidna had a lot of fun when I took the hardest hit of my life, where I thought, honestly, my face exploded in a preseason game against the Oakland Raiders in that crappy Coliseum.
I'm sorry.
Running sprint left option. And you know what, Reggie? Block the end man on the line. EMOL, Reggie. End man on line. The end man on the line. No, he blocked the end. The linebacker who came scotch-free and just took my head off. Kidna freezed it.
Was that scotch-free, you said?
Whatever it was. My head nearly came apart from my spine.
What world am I living in?
Yes. And he paused it. He's like, look, your head disappears on film like Ichabod Crane.
That's nice. I got Brock saying scotch-free, and you got to really see the look on Lyle's face every time you ask him a question like this, because just the sheer confusion really makes it wonderful. So, all right.
You can throw your Zoomer stuff right back at me with the Rizzler and everything else. Go ahead.
You can.
You still haven't gotten that right who it is.
The Ritzler?
You thought it was a song.
The Sizzler?
I thought he thought it was Rick Riz earlier. Brock's struggling with this.
I only care about one Rizzer.
The thing about the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, though, is it's not like that's a Gen X thing. Like, that's like just, there have been movies, there have been, like, it's a Halloween legend. It's like an old horror story.
Yeah, there was like a Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci.
There was that one, yes. Anyway, Lyle, figure it out.
We're going to expand your horizons. You're going to so love this over the years. You're going to love it.
I wasn't around when the 10 Commandments came out in the 1950s, but I've seen it and, know what it is. Like, it's okay to go back in time.
Ten Commandments, like
the movie with Charlton Heston.
I thought you were
go to
talking about
break.
something else.
No,
Go to
I was
break.
talking about the movie with. Oh my gosh.
Go to break.
We will take a break and come back and just lament where we are in life. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to watch the Seahawks host the New York Giants October 6th.
Throw deep, got DK open, touchdown, Seahawks!
Head to the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab in the bottom of the right corner, and enter for your chance to win.
A 71-yarder to DK!
You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds will be. Do it every day, September 25th through September 30th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win.
After years of wear and tear, Joe had osteoarthritis in his wrists and shoulders.
I've pretty much worked out my whole life. I actually decided I'm going to train for a half Ironman triathlon.
The pain was interfering with every part of his life.
Basically, can't sleep, causing those kind of problems, very limited movement.
Joe had surgery, but it wasn't the fix he was looking for.
The doctor told me, he's like, hey, this is just going to be a partial fix. You're going to eventually need joint replacement.
That's when he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
And they're just getting better. I can basically do full motion. I don't have really any pain.
What kinds of things are you able to do now that you weren't before?
I like to golf, and it definitely has made my golf game not as painful. And sleeping. I'm sleeping better because I don't have that aching at night going on and having to roll over.
So, are you recommending this to others?
Oh, everybody I talk to. Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Have you recently tried to get a loan to buy a piece of real estate? Are you tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and their endless guidelines? Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
With Floor Coverings International, the mobile flooring showroom comes to you. Book an appointment, pick out the flooring you like, and they'll order and install it for you. It's that easy. Visit FCIFloors.com to book an appointment. Floor Coverings International, the stars of flooring.
For years, I've been recommending Riverside Roofing as the roofing company you can trust. It's Mike Salk here. Why not give them an opportunity to earn your business this fall? Find them at riversideroofingllc.com. They are Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
The multi-dealer Evergreen Fall RV Show this weekend, Monroe Fairgrounds.
Lower prices are finally here.
8 dealers in one location.
Speedway RV Center.
Ryan's RV Town.
RV Country.
Holsbo RV.
Open Road RV Center.
Fife RV Center.
Clearview RV.
And Bickford Trailers. The Evergreen Fall RV Show, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Evergreen State Fairgrounds. Sponsored by BECU. First 3,000.
Download $4 off admission coupon.
At evergreenfallrvshow.com.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien. Hey, college students, want to save more on groceries? Every dollar counts, so my friends at Safeway are helping by giving all university, community, and technical college students an extra 5% savings every day. It's called Safeway for You. Sign up is free and easy. Safeway for You members get extra savings with perks, points, and free products. For all the details and terms, visit Safeway.com/FOR and the letter U. That's Safeway.com/for-you.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with no credit financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Sorry, I like this text. Ask Lyle about a 204-year-old Halloween tale, and it's nah, but he knows all about that one meme nobody else has heard of. LOL. All right, good stuff. Anyway, Mariners don't get it done yesterday, Brock, and they needed to, unfortunately. Everybody else won. We'll get to that in a moment, but they had 3 runs. They had a lead once again early. Logan was really good, but unfortunately not good enough. Did give up 3 long balls in the game. One of them a 2-run shot to Jason Hayward, who has just been a Mariner killer, now done it for 2 different teams this year. He was with the Dodgers when he beat them about a month and a half ago. So yeah, frustration. Offensively, they didn't get done what they needed to. They stranded a bunch of runners at third base.
So much population, so many opportunities.
But those big moments went awry. A couple of more bunts, one that was surprising to me and one that, worked out really well. And for Logan, good stuff, but that's just not quite good enough.
It felt good. Some of the best stuff I've had all season. They hit a couple good pitches, a couple mistakes. That's just baseball. But fun atmosphere, big game. Offense did great, putting up a few runs. Stuff-wise, though, I felt like I threw the ball really well. Like I said, some of the best stuff I've had. So just a couple mistakes. That's just how it goes.
Isn't it weird how sometimes having the best stuff that you can doesn't necessarily translate to the best results?
Yeah.
Logan's stuff yesterday, I thought was better than Bryce Miller's the night before.
I mean, you could see him in the dugout with Bryce and with Wu and with Louis, as they all download and talk through the game. And at the end of it, when he got through the 6th, and you could see him talking about like the amount of movement he was, and that's what you're talking about, right? Like the amount of movement his stuff had, hitting 99, just easy velo and keeping those guys guessing. But, you spin a curveball right into that sweet spot for Tucker. That go zone for lefties. Like, that's the one spot. You can't really miss that. You keep a fastball instead of getting it up out of the zone to Hayward. It's right at the top of the zone, and he's able to get a barrel to it.
Same thing to Bregman as well. And, you're right. I mean, all that is true. It's just funny. Like, he had a lot more swing and miss to his game last night than Miller did the night before, but that's sometimes not enough. So they fall in Houston.
And what did JP say? It was bleepy. It was bleepy, bleepy, bleepy.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy with his hitting in that game. George Kirby will get the ball here in about an hour and a half in the series finale. They will hope that Houston's maybe they partied a little too much last night after the win and now come back for a day game following that.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Because unfortunately things don't look great in the wild card race. Tigers win again. They beat Tampa at home, and they just feel at this point like a team that's kind of going to
They've locked in, so.
Yeah, they've locked in.
And A.J. Hinch is a hell of a manager.
They have locked in. The Twins are the exact opposite of that. I'd be shocked if the Mariners didn't finish ahead of the Twins. But the problem is the Royals, right? The Royals are that one team in between. If you're going to get ahead of somebody, the Royals may be your best bet, but because you got to get ahead of two of these teams. They went scoreless into the 10th inning, man. They're not scoring at all, Brock, but then they score the game's only run when a zombie runner scores on an error, a throwing error by the third baseman, and Joey Gallo ends up hitting the long foul ball that would have been a home run. Instead, he strikes out in the next pitch, and the Mariners have a real tough day.
I mean, you got to go 4-0, period, end of story. You got to go 4-0.
And then you still need a lot of help.
Yes, and then hope that, Kansas City, stumbles. The Tigers have the White Sox at the end of the year. They're in. They're going to be in. They got the Rays for 2 more, the White Sox for 3. You're not catching them. You got to hope that, you go 4-0, and the Royals go 2-3.
Yeah, even that I think isn't enough. Yeah. I think they need to go 1-4 if I'm reading it right, because you got to be 3 games better than the Royals.
Correct.
So yeah, if you go 4-0, they would need to go
just
1-4.
Score a freaking run when the guy is on third with less than 2 outs. You're not going to do it every time. Maybe 2. You have 3 different chances yesterday to do it, and you can't.
Yeah, it's very frustrating, no doubt.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Gonna get probably tomorrow into Brady Henderson's column, which just came out this morning, Brock, on the Seahawks and the coaching change and all of that. We'll take some time to really let it digest and then kind of work through it in some of the time we have together tomorrow. But these Seahawks are playing some really good ball. Up to number 4 in ESPN's power rankings. Yes, I probably agree with DJ that that's a little hot. But I think it's just telling of what they've been able to accomplish so far. And it's still impressive, even if it's not necessarily reality. They've turned themselves into a team that is worth talking about.
Pretty complete team and pretty much decimated Denver. The score didn't show that at the end. Pretty much decimated Miami. The score did show that at the end. And then you went on your first road trip across the country on a hot day and weathered the storm against a very physical New England team at that point that was coming off beating Cincinnati, and you finished them off when it mattered. Detroit going to be a little different animal.
Very.
That roster, a whole lot deeper. That culture, fully developed. That O-line and those 2 running backs, pretty much monsters. So every week it's a new challenge in the NFL, and play the way they have, Salk. It's probably going to be decided in the final 4 or 5 minutes.
Probably. All right, that's everything you need to know.
Not quite everything. I'll give you one more thing on this whole UNLV quarterback.
Yeah.
Pete Thamel. Pretty esteemed, right? Pretty esteemed college football.
Yes.
Former UNLV QB Matthew Sluka's NIL representation, Marcus Cromartie of Equity Sports, told ESPN he was verbally promised a minimum of $100,000 from a UNLV assistant coach for transferring there. None of that money was paid per Cromartie. Another reporter on the old social media, all financial commitments. Carl Reed Jr., all financial commitments for UNLV quarterback Matthew Sluka were completely met. But after wins against Kansas and Houston, Sluka's family hired an agent. And that Cromartie guy, collectively feel that his market value has since increased per source.
Well, that doesn't sound nearly as nice. Like the first story, I can definitely sympathize with him. The second,
Scott Van Pelt, this is really it. There's just no rules. There's no cops to enforce rules, which don't exist in the first place. And this is what you get. Disaster.
It's everything you need to know. We do a quarter past every hour here in the Brock and Salk Show. It's the worst system except for all the others, right? I mean,
what do you mean?
It's the worst system except for all the others. Like, it's an old adage. Where you just say, like, you're right. This is not going the way it should be going. It doesn't seem it doesn't feel like the fault of NIL that it's happening this way. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, there should have been an ability to create NIL.
Why is there not NIL with governance and structure?
Correct.
I mean, as much as I've forever, as long as we've been together, Brock, preached about why I think it's necessary for college athletes to get paid.
Yeah.
I never said it shouldn't be governed.
Well, what happened very clearly was the Supreme Court weighed 9-0.
I know.
And Mark Emmert, then NCAA, said, okay, I'm out. I'm done. Totally throw my hands.
But somebody's got to get in and not be done. And that's why we had those conversations earlier in the year, I think with Pete Thamel, or maybe it was Andrew Marchand, about, some of the potential leagues coming in to say, somebody's got to fix this.
That's right.
And, if you got to pay the kids directly through the schools, so be it. That's fine. But this is not right.
No.
NIL, I think, is right. Non-governance, non-regulation, I don't see how that could possibly be expected to work. All right, coming up, we've got mean tweets in about 20 minutes. Lyle and Moore have both done their thing. Yeah.
Do we? Okay.
I think we do. What? Well, I've heard that some of the tweets weren't even that mean, so I don't know, man. Maybe you're starting to make this stuff up.
Well, the folks in Stilley, they enjoy me. Stillwater's nice folks.
Right.
And the Utah folks, how can they not like me? I think they've won every game I broadcast for them. So.
Some of them still don't like you, so we'll hear from them in about 20. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Bump, what stood out to you in week 3?
Oh, man, what stood out to me in week 3, I got to start off with DK Metcalf, man.
Weekdays, 10 to 2.
Back-to-back weeks with over 100 yards. He's reminding people, look, nobody is as explosive as DK Metcalf in this offense right now.
DK is a different type of receiver. He's incredibly physical. He's a big guy. He has an incredibly rare combination of size and speed that you can't just find.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and it was nice of DJ to say that I'm looking good these days, and I want to thank Eastside Weight Loss Clinic for making that happen. Last year, lost 35 pounds in just 8 weeks. It was incredible. It wasn't that hard. There's no drugs, no injection, no medication. It's all just real food that you buy at the grocery store, and they give you some great recipes to cook it so it tastes good and you're not hungry. And then there's a great plan to maintain it. And I did a really good job for a while. Got away from me a little bit this summer. No problem. Jumped back on the plan for a couple of weeks. Boom, 20 pounds down and right where I want to be. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic does know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy food and lifestyle strategies designed to reset your metabolism. It has helped thousands of people lose 20, 30, or more pounds in just 60 days. So why not you? You can start the program in person in Kirkland or virtually from anywhere you live. Schedule your free consultation today. Call 425-588-0080 or go to eastsideweightlossklinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Buying or selling a home is a big deal. Literally. It's one of the largest financial transactions you're likely to make. So work with someone who will work with your best interests in mind. Someone who agrees to operate with transparency, honesty, and fairness every step of the way. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and are bound by a strict code of ethics that requires they put your interests above their own. Because that's who we are. Make sure your agent is a Realtor.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
For many of us, it's happening. Your hair is thinning. Your crown is disappearing. Hair loss had me feeling like I was losing my identity altogether. Well, I've got some good news. It's a simple one-day treatment that worked for me. The Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. It starts growing new hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly memberships. Those can help retain what you have. But what if you want your own natural hair in specific areas like I did? You decide how much, how thick, and where. From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to the world-class leading doctors like Dr. Parango, it's not a maybe your hair will grow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 425-449-8185. Advanced Hair is the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and they are the team that I personally recommend. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
How would you like to have a brand new roof in time for winter? And even better, how about an honest local contractor known for their quality work? If you use Asset Roofing, you will have both. I can personally recommend Asset Roofing. Now through winter, if you need your roof replaced, make sure you get a bid from Asset Roofing. Get a free estimate now at assetroofingco.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset roofing excellence is on the house.
Hawks live.
Tomorrow night from 7 to 9.
Live from Bellevue Square Center Court.
Geno Smith has himself a day.
Presented by the Dining District of the Bellevue Collection.
On Seattle Sports.
You know, someone asked me the other day, do you know how many devices the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? It's way more than I thought. So I actually went home and counted how many connected devices in my home. It is more than a dozen, all to keep us connected to the good stuff, our streaming, gaming, all the internet, and you name it. Well, Xfinity knows that the number of devices we have connected to our internet is growing by the year. And that's why they engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices, hundreds for real. And now through October 10th, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract, and ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile. Make sure your home Wi-Fi can handle everything you throw at it and then some. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to switch today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary. 1-800-XFINITY.
Natchez RV Resort Phase 2 is open. Reserve your showing now for October 5th and 6th. Ty, tell us about it.
Our Phase 2 features a release of 12 extra-large RV lots starting at only $89.9, complete with full hookups. Don't have an RV? Come see a stunning turnkey park model. It's the perfect way to make Natchez RV your home away from home.
Natchez RV Resort has 300 days of sunshine and year-round family fun. Fishing, hunting, snow skiing, golf, river rafting, outstanding wine tasting, and more.
Our 4,300 square foot clubhouse is now open with gourmet kitchen, great room, fitness center, showers, and laundry.
Completed are the pickleball courts, playground, dog park, and miles of recreational trails. The saltwater swimming pool and hot tub are just a few weeks away. So reserve your showing now for October 5th and 6th, featuring 12 extra-large lots from just $89.9. 800-422-6009. 800-422-6009. NatchezRVResort.com.
This hour is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Not knowing the legend of Sleepy Hollow is not a generational thing, says the 206. It's an I never read books in middle school thing. We're talking American history here, not culture. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's hard to argue with, I would say.
More of an urban legend. We're considering that history?
Well, it's like literature, I think. Literature and movies. I mean, it's kind of a little of all of it. Salk, paying college players is not a good idea. Be careful what you ask for. This is ruining college football. Look, we've been debating this forever and ever. You're never going to convince me that it's not a good idea to pay college players. They're bringing in an unbelievable amount of money for the schools, for the networks, and they're not getting paid. That's absurd. But then paying them without any form of governing body is almost equally as absurd. I don't know how anybody could expect this to work long term. It just doesn't make any sense. Who's going to fix this, Brock? Who could legitimately step up to fix this?
The SEC and the Big Ten are the only ones that can fix this. They are the two largest power brokers. They have been fiefdoms for many, many years. The commissioners, Mike Slive, on to Greg Sankey at the SEC, did not want to ever give any inch. Why would I ever do any of that? I'm going to protect my own. Same thing with Jim Delaney and the Big Ten and into some of the dysfunction they've had. They got a good owner or commissioner now in Petitti. So those are the only two that can.
Can those two guys get together?
Yeah, and from what I have heard from some of my executives, that it's actually healthier than it has ever been in their recent memory.
The cordiality between those two?
The collegiality, yes, and just the understanding, like this is broken, and we have to be the ones to fix it. Like we are the two most powerful commissioners,
right?
The two most powerful conferences. Like we've got to be willing to give in order to fix this. And without them doing that, if they just totally protect their own self-interest and their own conference, which they may do, right? And maybe the two of them ultimately separate from everybody else and they put together their own governance and their own rules, who knows? Or maybe they'll figure out a way to, but those, I mean, to me, that's where it starts. And then does the government get involved? They've tried to get involved to some degree, who knows? Got a lot of other stuff going on there.
Yeah, I don't know that I need the government necessarily to be the group that gets involved in this, but it does feel like there are a couple of ways this could end up being fixed, and certainly it would all come back to, you're right, the people in charge of the major power broker players, which are those two conferences, and a few of the athletic directors in those conferences, and
then
the other is the
lawsuit.
networks and the money.
Yes,
right?
and
I mean, that's the last part of this.
There is a settlement that has been out there, and it just continues to kind of be delayed a little bit because I think these attorneys love making their hundreds of millions of dollars and everything else. But, there was kind of a settlement between the NCAA and these conferences and institutions that each of them would get like 20 to 25 million a year to pay their student athletes, like to build their own, management within their structure within their programs. And that too is on the table. And then will that settle down some of this shenanigans and some of these agents and some of this stuff that's going on? Who knows?
I just keep coming back to, the idea that ultimately someone's going to need to step up and make this all kind of make sense. And that conversation we had with Andrew Marchand earlier in the year, where the leagues would kind of get together and pay specifically so that because the boosters who are shelling out the money right now aren't getting a return on their investment.
No, they're not.
And that will only last for so long.
Correct.
Right? I mean,
correct.
And that comes back to what's happening in the NFL and Major League Baseball, everywhere else, private equity coming in. Like, why is that stuff there? Because they want more return on their investment. If they were just in the charity business, then those leagues would be run very differently. And there's certainly money to be made in college football, college athletics. But the people who are paying the money right now aren't making any back. And so I don't think they're going to be okay with that.
Look at your little exercise here for 6 or 7 minutes so you don't have to talk about the Mariners' struggles.
I'm not. No.
Look at what you're doing. Before mean tweets, you're thinking, can I stretch this out long enough so we don't have to talk about the Mariners and the challenges and their own challenges? And I'm just looking at ESPN, pulling up some numbers, and what's the headline? After coming back from 10 games back, the Astros yet again win this American League West. Doesn't it just make you sick at some point? It did for me last night. Yeah, I am an emotional, at times irrational, very passionate, because it is in my lifeblood since 1976, having been a Mariners fan, Salk, and I can certainly be emotional. But last night, like just watching them and watching Houston again celebrate, honestly, it just hit a little different because of so much opportunity lost this year. And Passan has said it to us regularly over the last month, and I'm sure we'll say it regularly when we have in this offseason or through the end of the season as well. Like, do you realize how much opportunity was just lost this year?
Mm-hmm. Tons. It's awful. It's awful what happened this year. I mean, I was never wild about this team heading into this season, Brock, and I'm not going to completely do an epitaph for them because it might not be over, right? I mean, like, there's still a chance they win 4 and everybody else loses. So it's not like over until, I don't know, maybe even by the end of the day today. We'll find out. But I was never that wild about this team. I felt like they had taken maybe a step backwards from last year. The pitching got better. I thought the offense got a little bit worse. The defense was going to be problematic. And over the course of the year, they made some changes, obviously not just with the manager, et cetera, but, with what they did in their lineup and bringing in Randy and bringing in Turner and bringing in Robles. Right? I mean, like, they've made some legitimate changes over the course of the year that I think have made their lineup better. Legitimately. They've made their lineup better.
Yes.
They have a better lineup today than they did on April 1st. I really do believe that.
In May 1st, in June 1st.
Yeah, I think that's true.
1st.
I think by the time this year ended, and especially with those 3 guys, that's a better team.
Yep.
Canzone's not taking at bats. Sebi Zavala's not taking at bats. Your DH situation yesterday aside, for the most part, hasn't been a black hole. Polanco's improved off of what he did early in the year. And so, yeah, I mean, like, I do think they got better over the course of the year. But this wasn't a great team to begin with. I'm taking some grief today on the internet from punks like Aaron Levine who think that they know everything about baseball, which is just hysterical. And I get stuff like, "Oh, Salk, you don't know what you're talking about, this, that, and the other." And look, Aaron's got an axe to grind. I get it. He's always got sort of something to say about this stuff. And it's not the first time. It won't be the last either. And he gets people riled up and takes things out of context, and that's fine. The question I was asked from Jake Wittenberg, and I'm not going to bother to respond to it on social media because it's a pit of hell, but I'll talk about it here for a moment, is why does it feel like the Mariners do this to us every year, find a way to get this close, and then fall apart at the end? And my answer is, that's not just the Mariners. That is baseball. If you're in Minnesota, you're having the same conversation today. Baseball has a way of ripping your heart out, of making you think one thing and then doing a complete 180 and then doing something else. There's more to that answer, of course. It's not like that baseball is the only reason why the Mariners have fallen short. They've fallen short because their team was never built well enough to make it all the way to the World Series. They're not good enough, and I've been saying that for months. But why does it feel like the Mariners make you come close without? Well, that's baseball.
Yeah,
that is baseball. That is not just the Mariners. It feels that way when you're here and this is the team and you're the team that's never made the World Series and you're the team that constantly feels like you're out of it. But you're not the only one. Man, how'd you like to be in Pittsburgh today where they are once again a complete abject disaster? They have very, very little positive even in the future for that team. And they just cut a guy to save $200,000. Did you see that story?
I mean, is this where baseball is? Like, I don't.
Some of it is a yes. Some of it is where some of baseball is.
I don't understand the chasm between what Jeff Passan says to us regularly, that these teams have the money to spend,
doesn't feel
and
that
then
way.
See what happens in Oakland and or Sacramento or wherever they're going to end up. See what happens in Pittsburgh. See what happens.
It depends what you mean by they have money to spend. Could they spend money like boosters? Yes. Are major league owners likely to do that? No. I mean, the RSN model is broken. It's busted. It's done. And as I've said many, many times before, this is not a Mariner issue. This is a baseball issue. Baseball is no longer going to be supplemented by the rest of the world. For years, non-baseball fans paid the freight because they paid for their RSN fees because of the carriages on Comcast and DirecTV and everything else. And as people cut the cord, those carriage fees went away. And so all of a sudden, people that were paying money to baseball teams without ever watching a game, that money goes away. And so, yes, the available pool of money is down. And it's even worse because baseball is not the same national interest that the NFL or the NBA is. Baseball is built much more on a local interest about your local team, and all the money came through your local RSN, your regional sports network like Root Sports. When that goes away, yes, the owners have less money, not just the Mariners. Many of the owners. There's a few that are not subject to that. I'm sure someone like Aaron has done all his research to figure it out. But yeah, the Dodgers have a completely different deal than the Mariners or the Pirates or the Rockies or the Diamondbacks.
The Red Sox, the Yankees.
I will say
they have different deals.
I will say the Diamondbacks lost their TV deal last year and their payroll is $25 million higher.
It absolutely is. And it was also at like the very, very bottom before that. And then they made the World Series. And I'm not telling you that winning wouldn't beget more money. It would. And what I want, and I say this a million times, but again, nobody wants to hear it. The Mariners should spend more money. It would behoove them to spend more money. And I think it would make them better. And I think it would allow them to have more success. And it would probably make them some of that money back. And if John Stanton were sitting here, I would tell that to him. And if Chris Larson was sitting here, I would tell that to him. And if any of the Mariners owners were sitting here, I would tell that to them. If you spent more money, you would probably have a better product and you might even make more money. But to sit here and say that, like, this is a unique scenario, it's not. To think that is myopic. It's the only one we care about because we're Mariner fans and we want them to win. But it's not just a Mariner problem. Some of this is a baseball problem. And I think the Mariner issues this year are different from that. I think the Mariners spent a ton of money on bad players that did not perform well. They spent a lot of money. Brock, you've gone through how much they spent on Mitch and Polanco.
So over the last 3 years, $100 million.
And Luis Urias. They've spent a lot of money on garbage that has not worked out at all. And then when things got rough, they fired their manager and hired a guy for the foreseeable future without doing a complete search or deciding what the best plan would be this offseason. So do I think some of that is mismanaged? Yes. But to sit here and say, like, well, why does it feel like this only happens to us? Well, because we're the only ones watching us. And it does happen to other teams, and there are other problems.
It has been some rough decades.
It has.
Very clear.
I know. Absolutely.
It hasn't been to a run to a World Series like the Diamondbacks had.
Absolutely.
Right? It hasn't been some of these incredible epic. It was one a couple years ago, and that did nothing but further enhance this expectation and this aggravation and this emotion when you once again fall short. But that's enough. Okay, that is enough. We're not talking about mean tweets to you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we're talking mean tweets to me, doggone it.
Yes.
Let's go.
That's more fun.
Way more fun. Way less
you guys.
personal.
Lyle was so caught up in the conversation that he forgot he was
doggone
doing
it,
mean
Lyle.
tweets.
Lyle! Meatloaf!
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Brock Heward is doing his absolute best to jinx it. Son of a...
Yep. I was right. Sorry. What do you want me to say? I knew Cam Rising wouldn't play. What do you want? What do you
If
want
you have
from me?
that jinx power, can you use it against some of these other teams? The Mariners need to lose
The
some games
Royals?
here.
The Royals?
Can I do another mean text for me? Salk, you're getting crushed by the local media now. Maybe you should look at what they're saying. Here's the thing. When you go and actually participate in city council meetings and all that, are you still a member of the local media?
Okay, next. Here we go.
I just want to make sure. I'm not sure what the definition of media is.
We're done. Here
Feels
we go.
like at that point, you're kind of just a fan.
Here we go. Next. Push. Push.
Even this complete nobody at Brock Heward took a shot at the Eagles' third down pass Monday night. Huh.
Is that a Philly fan?
Nobody.
What is that? Is that a Philly? Is that you? Were you harnessing a Philadelphia?
I just try not to make my voice not sound so girly all the time, or I feel like it sounds the same everyone.
It's pretty good.
I'm just trying to make it deeper.
Did you think that made it manly?
I don't know.
How deep can you make your voice, Maura?
Not very. I don't know, Brock.
That was pretty deep. That was pretty good.
Brock Heward has money on Utah. That was an egregious officiating mistake, and if it wasn't, the targeting rule needs to be rewritten. Hashtag OK State, hashtag money's down.
Money's down?
I added that.
Oh, what does that mean?
Just got action on the game.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Get the ad-libbing again.
Yeah.
Very forceful.
Yeah, you got a lot of your anger in there.
Well, yeah, it was clearly somebody sitting at home.
That's
the one with
Lyle
the
taking
most-
out his frustration of actually having to participate in this bit.
One of the ones with the most expletives so far is coming up, and that's Lyle.
Oh, great. Oh, great.
At Brock Heward, knock it off. Bowman is not coming back into the game. Rangel is playing awfully. The young man that is the future of that Cowboy football is over on the sideline. Inexplicably, give it a rest about Bowman. You're sounding like a whiner on television. They said awfully.
But Bowman
Playing awfully.
But Bowman did come back in the game in the fourth quarter, nearly led him to a win, and should have never been benched. But
It must feel good to lead a lynch mob on the freaking internet. Does that feel good? Is that a good feeling? Does that like make you feel like a big man?
Will you not look at it, please? Stop it.
It must feel good.
We're almost
maybe
done.
Maybe we should have got back to the NCAA stuff. That's on me. I didn't even look at the stuff. Next.
Brock, I'll have you
What?
know, it is Utah playing, not Utah State.
Oh.
Did you screw that up?
I don't think so.
That's not something you would do.
That's not me. It's absolutely not me.
It wasn't all that much to work with in that tweet. It was short and honestly, it didn't feel that insultful.
Are you making excuses?
Yep.
Is that what that just was?
Yep.
Don't make excuses. Because excuses
Coffee's for closers.
They're for losers.
Uh-huh.
Brock Heward is very fond of the word superhuman. Hashtag go Utes. Hashtag Utah.
Yeah. I'll own that.
You say it too much?
I mean, not every week, but I think in that game I probably did. Yep.
That one just doesn't feel that mean. I didn't even do that one. You like using a phrase. It doesn't seem
But
so
you
bad.
did this one.
At Brock Heward, go yourself, you. How about having some integrity the next time you call a Utah game and put some enthusiasm in your voice when we break a record on the road in a dominant win with our true freshman backup quarterback.
Ooh.
Yeah. That was very
It's
angry.
pretty good. That is angry.
All right, that one wasn't soulful.
That was very angry. Yeah. Was that one mean enough, Lyle? Play the music. Was that one mean
Yeah,
enough?
that one was mean.
Play
That
the
one was
bed.
mean.
And this one keeps happening. We had this last week, too.
Oh, jeez.
I wonder why Brock Heward never mentions that his son is a backup quarterback for Utah.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, had to add some music. I feel like it's a
that
it's a
X-Files in
budding
the background?
conspiracy theory at this point. Yes.
Good job, Mara. That's good. That's good production right there.
That is good.
Thanks.
Nope, Sam is not my son.
No?
No, he's my nephew.
Oh.
He's my nephew. Salk, stop. Will you stop looking at anything on there?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
I just thought you'd want some unsolved mysteries, Brock.
Salk, okay.
According to the legend, he carried only 3 tools: a hammer, a saw, and a T-square.
Thank you for that.
All right, one
A
more.
rational explanation is hardly necessary.
Stop looking at the internet, Salk. Stop looking at the internet.
Cloaked in secrecy, they show up without warning. State their business, then vanish as quickly as they appear.
And then there's our favorite.
The idea of a creature larger than a gorilla with an odor like a skunk might seem far-fetched.
You just start playing stuff
Yep.
back to back to back.
I love
Lyle.
some of the mystery
Lyle,
stuff.
turn off his computer.
Lyle, really important question.
Uh-huh.
Have you watched the old Unsolved Mystery?
There's no way. He's probably never heard of it.
What is that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
this
back on
dumb
Netflix
show
now.
from
Like,
the
it's
80s.
back now.
It's on Netflix now.
The idea of a creature larger than a gorilla with an odor like a skunk might seem far-fetched.
Unsolved Mysteries was they used to catch criminals that way. They'd
Lyle,
put them on
if-
blast on there, and then
Lyle,
everyone would see the show. And
Before you go to bed,
Wait,
Lyle.
Unsolved Mysteries?
oh no, wait,
Yes.
that was
No.
America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, totally different. That was
But they
America's
also
Most
no.
Unsolved
But
Mysteries
they
also
also did
Unsolved
updates.
Mysteries was
Yes.
about like the legend
No.
of Sleepy Hollow. I mean,
No,
it was
not.
about,
They would catch those
There were some
fugitives.
actual crimes.
Yes,
Kind of.
They would absolutely catch
but
them.
they were about things like this.
According to the legend, he carried only 3 tools: a hammer, a saw, and a T-square.
I mean, come
But that's a
on.
legend. But the
Alright,
actual
I have
crimes?
more
That's
mean
different
tweet.
from America's Most Wanted.
No, but remember, then they'd like do. They give you an update, like bumper music, and
Oh.
coming back, you'd be like, oh, they caught him.
Thank you.
Is a treasure that Babe and Doc Nouse discovered an elaborate scam? Or is it real?
Will you put his computer volume down for a minute, Lyle? Thank you. I'm just gonna play this last meme.
Robert
tweet. That's
Stack.
Thank you. Robert's so scary.
Brock Heward is doing the Utah versus OSU game. Gagging emoji. Gonna have to mute that crap. Top 5 worst broadcasters.
You are, that's true.
Gagging
Right.
emoji.
Top
Well, I
5
kind of
worst.
like the way you say crap. Kind of like the way you just did that right there. Yes.
Well, you missed it earlier. Salk is trying to take on the word G taught him.
Oh, yeah. Cheeks.
But he can't. You remember how you made me work on my confidence with Big Dumper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to
oh.
work on it because he says it like he's
I don't
scared.
I don't mean it. I don't say it like I mean it. I'm not saying it with my cheeks.
Cheeks.
Yeah.
How did you try to use it earlier?
I said that the twins were cheeks, I think.
Yeah.
But I didn't say it with any confidence. It was too bad.
Is that kind of like buttocks?
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Kind of,
Exactly.
yeah.
They learned parts of a dismembered female body had been found in a remote corner of San Bernardino County. Curses, hexes, effigy dolls, and potions.
Yeah. See, someone
Is it-
says Unsolved Mysteries was part urban legends and part missing
All
persons
right.
and crime
Thank you.
solving.
Thank
right.
you. Yes. Lyle, check it out on Netflix tonight, but don't watch it before you go to bed. You won't sleep.
Right.
It's scary.
This is the music.
That sound is so scary.
It does. It gives you goosebumps.
Oh,
It does. Robert Slack was perfect for it, too. Big, handsome man in his trench coat with a deep voice. Oh, it was scary. So scary.
All right. Well, I'll go deal with the internet mobs for the rest of the day.
Don't.
What should I do? Just turn it off?
Just turn it off. No, nothing good, Salk. Nothing
No.
good. Just like Tony Dungy's rules, okay? Nothing good
Well,
happens
you know
in the
what?
early
I've eaten
hours
a
of
lot of
with
comments
women
over
you
the
don't
last
know,
couple of years.
violence,
lot
drugs,
of comments
guns.
that I haven't
Yes.
responded to.
Yes, just don't.
And this one
Yeah.
was maybe one bridge too far for me.
Yeah,
So
okay.
there's some people I'll hear it from. There's some people I won't.
I know.
All right, we're done. We got to
We'll have
turn
Aaron
things
Levine
over.
on at 7:30
yeah, that
tomorrow
seems
morning.
likely.
I'll reach out to Aaron, Stanford guy.
Seems really likely. Did he go to Stanford? He never mentions that.
Stanford guy. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Hayes in the barn.
The Hayes in the barn. Bye.
The
Is that
where it is?
hit it, Lyle. Hit
All
it.
right, I
Hit
guess we
Arnold,
gotta
please.
go. See
Right now,
everybody.
Schwarzenegger. Bye.
Get to the chopper!
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Mariners broadcaster Aaron Goldsmith.
When people talk about how well the Mariners are hitting right now, and the September numbers are incredible, there is a portion of the pie that needs to be allocated to Edgar Martinez for credit. Probably Justin Turner for the credit. But there's a large part of the pie that people need to realize, they've been healthy. They've had their full lineup. Obviously, if the Mariners had this, April through August, the Mariners and the Astros are in very different positions right now.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
In the Pacific Northwest, choose Star Rentals for construction equipment. With 18 locations, they deliver superior service and unmatched follow-through. Visit starrentals.com. Star Rentals, the preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
When a product is made better, it lasts longer. Sounds simple, but Toyota of Kirkland wants you to know it's actually savvy. With Toyota's certified program at Toyota of Kirkland, you can score a high-quality, low-mileage Toyota at a great price. Talk about savvy. The tremendous team at Toyota of Kirkland has plenty of certified inventory for you to come see, test drive, and take home all in the same day. Now that's truly savvy. Visit the Savvy showroom at Toyota of Kirkland today or toyotaofkirkland.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with no credit financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. It's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment needed and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and